Like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show. Weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead and hit that like button, because you already know what time it is, and you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've seen other people do it well, but what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course you do. So share the content now. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth. Or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, we are back with another interesting, maybe even dynamic, spectacular, incredible episode of the Roger Report Live. Today we're going to be looking at the culture of Black women and their goals. Okay, the culture of Black women and their goals. All right, that's what we're going to be looking at. Well, I guess technically, it's going to be interesting no matter what. It's going to be interesting no matter what. All right. Now, before we get before we dive deep into this, first of all, I want to say shout out to all the people who give me views on a regular basis that make up the fam around here. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. Shout out to all the people who actually save the hypes up, because you can only throw out so many hypes, but you got to save one for the Roger Report. I'm gonna say at least once a week, y'all. Save a hype, hype me up at least once a week. Shout out to the people who do it every chance they get, but you got to give me at least one. You know what I'm saying? Every week, man. Give me at least one. Can we get one? Shout out to all the people who hit that like button, because y'all know that makes the channel go and grow. Shout out to all the people who leave comments after the stream. Also another great way to help the channel. Appreciate all y'all. And shout out to the people who go above and beyond the call of duty. The people who put some money on the wood. Okay, people who put some money on the wood. Okay. And shout out to the sponsor of today's stream, my main man, y'all Borgen. He is the sponsor of today's stream. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. Appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. Okay. You are the sponsor of today's stream. You've been around here for a long time, been supporting for a long time. And I just want to say I appreciate you big time, brother. Appreciate you big time. Okay. And for all the newer people, remember, all money on the wood is good at the Roger Report Live. All money on the wood is good at the Roger Report Live. All right. And I want to give some shots to some of the first people to check in this morning, because when you start a show, it's always great to get started, but it's always great to see that you got people raring to go. And y'all know how it goes. There can only be one. So shout out to the Highlander of today's stream. My main man has done it again. On Wayne is in the building. He done made it again. He done made it happen again. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. Also, coming to the cool table right behind him, my main man, Trey Bentley, has done it one more time. Shout out to him. Hashtag long live habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's babies. Hashtag hey Hydra. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Shout out to the RX. Great to see you in the building, my brother. Great to see you in the building. We got Mr. Me Too in the house. Great to have you, brother. Great to have you. We also got I'm listening. What's good, my brother? What's good? Glad to see you here. Afro Merchant has checked in this morning. Great to see you as well. Boot Camp. What's good, my brother? What's good? I see you in the house as well. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. And shout out to everybody out there as people are coming in. And we gonna get on into it, y'all. The culture of Black women and their goals. All right. And we're going to take this as a very serious thing. Shout out to Bucket, just checked in. Now, I'm looking at this as a very serious thing, y'all. What is the culture of Black women and their goals? Because Black women have their, I'm going to say, their own culture, their own goals, and they want to be respected as women. Okay. Whether you agree with them or not, they want you to give them a certain amount of respect as Black women. All right. Now they understand that they're not going to be seen as other groups of women, even though I'm going to say Black women been doing a lot to try to get to blend in to the mix, y'all. I've said time and time again, the most important thing to Black women is their image. That is what's the most important thing to them. And if you don't believe that, notice how a lot of Black women in today's mindset, okay, or the ones who get the mic, the ones who speak up, a lot of them are going to fight for Black women, but they're also going to say for people of color when they want certain things done. Because they also want to blend in people of color too, because there is a thing about Black women's reputation. Even though they like being looked at as Black women, they do not like the quote unquote reputation Black women carry in some instances. And I'm going to say they do what they can to clean it up. You know, at least some of them are trying to clean it up. But Black women do have goals. And they do have a culture. Now, I understand you guys may want to throw in something about Black men's culture, but that's a separate culture. We'll talk about that later on. But today we want to talk about Black women's culture. You know, and I think Black women would appreciate this. Okay, the fact that we see them as their own people. Because isn't that the goal? Isn't that the goal? Think about it, y'all. Is that not the goal of Black women as a collective? Don't they want to be seen as their own people? Now, dig this here. Look at anything you want. All right. Now, a woman who comes from Asia, okay, well, her mom, okay, has an Indian background to my understanding. Her dad, I believe, is Jamaican background. You know, born in America, raised in Canada for a good period of time. Black women took that woman, and I'm really talking about FBA especially. I'm talking about FBA especially. I ain't saying others didn't do it, but FBA especially. They looked at that woman and said, "We want her to be the next president of the United States because we want a black woman as president of the United States." Now, her political record didn't matter. What she did while she was in office didn't matter. Okay? They pushed for her to simply be in office because they want to see a black woman as president of the United States. Now, the thing is, when people say black, there's certain ideas that go on. Black women didn't care whether she was truly a black woman or not. Now, the thing is, we already got Obama. No, and this ain't no shade to Obama. We already got Obama. And when you look at what happened with Obama, most of folks assume Obama was FBA. It later came out that he wasn't FBA. He had a white mother. He had a father from Kenya, I believe. No knock on them for being white. No knock on them from no knock on them for being from Kenya. But that ain't the Obama we thought we were getting. We thought we were gonna get us a nice FBA Obama. Okay, that's what we thought. Now the thing is, black folks collectively got fooled by that the first time. So I know you ain't gonna run that same play and fool us the second time. You're not gonna fool us the second time with that same thing. This particular time, I'm gonna say there was a lot of black folks who got fooled. I'm just gonna put it out there. It might have still been a collective of black folks who was fooled again, thinking we got some black woman, FBA, she down, she understands how it is. She told us herself how she used to wash the greens in the tub. Nasty mother. Excuse me. My bad. Now, what I will say is I don't know nan black woman that will wash greens in the tub. I ain't gonna say she don't exist. I ain't gonna say she don't exist. You look for something hot enough, you might just find it. You can find a guy with no legs. He out there somewhere. Okay, he out there somewhere. Okay, but this trifling woman said she used to cook. She used to prepare the greens in the bathtub. This old trifling nasty mother. But hey, for a lot of black women, okay, it didn't even make no difference. She said that they didn't even peep game. They didn't even ask no question. They just said, "Hey, she a black woman. We want to. She need to be our next president." It is what it is. Okay, it is what it is. So you would think after we collectively were fooled with Obama that we look a little tougher the next time around. Okay, now black women want power. That was their way of saying they could get some. Is what it is. Okay, is what it is. You have black women right now who say that women pretty much led the civil rights movement. Okay. Yeah, the civil rights movement back in the 60s, y'all, the 1960s. There's women who say that was pretty much a black woman thing. Okay. We strategically they don't say it like this, but I guess the thought process that we supposed to have on our own is that they strategically put a couple brothers here or there, or sprinkle them throughout to make the civil rights movement happen. The marches, that was on them. The speeches, that was on them. Okay. The research, that was on them. Everything pretty much was on them. We just had a few men get highlighted, but the civil rights movement was basically black women according to what they say. You can look on the internet and see women talking. This is the stuff they pushing nowadays. All right. Black women accept, or they embrace, I should say, the idea that they are the backbone of the black community. All right. So black women want to be seen as strong. They want to be seen as a pillar. They want to be seen as extremely independent, valiant, heroic. You know, they'll tell you in a heartbeat, they just don't need no man. Okay? They just don't need no man. Okay? I don't care what you say going on. They don't need no man. All right? They say pressure bust pipes. Black women think they the pressure that bust the pipe. That's what they believe. We can hear how they talk. That's what they believe. Now black women, embrace this idea that was never verified and never was true. But they say they're the most educated woman. Now, when they start hearing that they're the most educated woman, which just wasn't true, folks done researched it. It came out that they were the most enrolled woman when it comes to college or universities. They were the most enrolled, not the most educated. They enrolled more than other women did, but when people looked into it, we found the Asian woman was the most educated woman. Now, I ain't gonna crap on black women for not being the most educated, but that's something they like to push, but they don't want to do the work to actually become it. If they like saying it so much, why don't they just do the work and become the most educated woman? Okay? Why not just become that? If you want that reputation, why don't you actually just become it? Well, we know how it goes, y'all. To become the most educated woman, it's going to take a little work. It's going to take a little effort. It's going to be, you're going to have to abide by somebody else's rule. You're going to have to actually sign up for some courses and actually get through them. I don't know if black women will ever become the quote unquote most educated women in America. They like saying they are, and I ain't mad at them for doing it. I mean, who don't want a good reputation, right? The way people look at education right now, people say that's a good reputation to have on you, even though it turned out it happened to be the Asian woman. All right. Now, we had this thing where black women actually support the ideal of black women going to college. Now, it's still a minority of women. College, people present college certain kind of ways, and people will present it as if it's a thing that most people are doing. Most people don't actually go to college. When you look at the numbers, okay, you don't have 51% of the people going to college. So the majority has never been in play. All right, but black women support the idea of black women going to college, whether they want or not, because college is a way for black women to not have to listen to a black man, which is their goal. We talking about black women as a culture. As a culture, they prefer not to listen to a black man. They prefer not to have any black male leadership. Now, I would say they will listen to a black man that says black men shouldn't even attempt to lead black women. They will listen to that guy. As long as somebody's saying how they don't have to listen to black men, they will support the idea. Because we're talking about black women from a cultural perspective. When have you seen a bunch of black women not support any person that says they shouldn't be led by black men? When have you seen that? Let's be realistic. When have you seen black women as a group have a problem with anyone? I don't care who it is. Okay. But if they say, do this thing so you don't have to listen to black men, when have you seen that person go unsupported amongst black women? You've never seen that. Let's be real. You've never seen it. It's people that get rich because they say stuff about how black women shouldn't support black men. It's a great thing to say if you want to get some paper. And what you're not going to find is a bunch of black women who got a problem with that person. You ain't going to find that. You look hard enough, you might find one. But you ain't gonna find a group of women who got a problem with somebody saying don't listen to black men. Now, this ain't about black men. And black men are removed from this. But they don't want to listen to us. Now, they live in America, so they have a right to not listen to us. Let's keep that real. We ain't going to force them to do it. It is what it is. I'm going to read this by the RX, just curious. He says, at the Roger Report, people have been asking how could they be the most educated, but their children can't read at the proper grade level? Things to think about, Roger. Well, I mean, you know, there's nothing to wonder about that. There's nothing to wonder. They the most educated, and they just don't teach their kids how to read. I mean, it's nothing really to figure out. I'm gonna say nothing to really figure out. You know, but see, I'm not saying this to even make fun of black women. I'm just saying this because that's something they said. They push it. They push this idea. And black women, they like being victims while also being the warrior class. Okay. Are black women not warriors the way they tell a story? Let's be realistic about this, y'all. The average everyday black woman is a warrior based on how they tell it. They've overcome so much. You know, they've been overcoming stuff since their childhood. You know, in their minds, they have to overcome childhood. Let's be real about that. In their minds, they got to overcome childhood. Let them tell it when they're children. You know, this is what they say. When they're children, they claim is people can't leave black girls alone. That's what the claim is. As black girls, they have all types of sexual assaults or misconduct that go on with them on a regular basis. Black women have been surveyed, and they said the majority of them have been involved in some type of sexual misconduct by people as they grew up. So basically what they're saying is, you know, Americans can't stop bothering black girls. That's what they're saying. As Americans, y'all can't leave black girls alone. Black girls can't grow up and just be a child and go into adulthood. There's always a bunch of sexual misconduct. That's what they claim. It is what it is, y'all. That's what they say. Okay. Black girls can't be left alone. You know, I guess they're so beautiful and stunning as kids. The rest of America just don't know what to do. Okay. I guess they don't know what to do. And black women have this amazing thing where, you know, they say their children get abandoned on a regular basis, y'all. Black women claim their children get abandoned regularly. Now, I don't know what you want to believe it is about black women's children, but black women claim their children get abandoned on a regular basis. Like, if you have children with black women, you don't want to stay. That's what black women claim. If you have children with black women, you don't want to stay. Because, see, if you address all the quote unquote Al Gore babies, you know, and for those who might be new, the Al Gore babies are all the black children, and the black woman can't tell you who the father is. Those are the Al Gore's babies, okay? So if you address her about these Al Gore babies, she's just gonna say something about, you know, what black men leave babies all the time. See, if you address her about all the, because black women have they have more black children. Well, they have more children than black men. Yeah, that's a real thing, y'all. Black women have more children than black men. And I know if you even start doing math in your head, you might catch it. Wait a minute, they have more children than black. How is that even possible? That's what the first thing you would think about if you actually thought about that from a mathematical standpoint. How is that even possible? Well, black women like having children by non-black men a whole lot. Okay, they like having what we like to call Al Gore's babies. Okay, they like having children by non-black men a whole lot. Okay, I mean, truth be told, they seem to like having children by non-black men far more than they like having children by black men. That being the case, those guys don't seem to stick around for whatever reason. And if you address them about it, they're just gonna say, "Well, black men don't stick around when they have a baby by a black woman." Now, I know they don't think about it in this frame, but basically what they're saying is, if you have black children, you don't want to be around black women. That's what they're saying. They don't get that they're saying that, but they're basically saying once you have children by a black woman, you want to, for whatever reason, there's going to be a desire to get out of there. That's what they say. Not talking about what's true. I'm just talking about what they say. All right? Because they're not going to even address the fact that the non-black men got away from them. They're not going to even address it. They're just going to say something about black men. And then they're going to tell you that black men abandon their children. Now, you can't even hardly find a black man that ever broke up with a woman in his life, but they're going to tell you that black men abandon their children. So when you start putting these things together, y'all, what is the culture of black women? And I'm saying this not as a joke. I don't want anybody trying to joke about this. I'm saying this as a very real thing. What is the culture of black women? Because we got some good black women. It ain't like we don't have any. It's not like there's no examples out there about how to be a good black woman. It's not like we don't have a few women out there who's actually been doing the things the proper way. They've gotten married. You know, they've stayed in their marriage. We got some, I like to say for a woman, we got some women out there who've been married for 30 years plus. They do exist. Okay, they do exist. So it's not like black women can't do it. We have to accept at some point it's just not their interest to be a certain kind of woman. There are great black women who've been married for 30 years plus, raised their children properly. They have their husbands back. Some of them were stay-at-home wives. Some of them, had a job with their husbands. Some of them had a business and their husband had a job. Some of them had a business and their husband supported them in their business. Some of them, they just vibe and work with their husband any way he wants the thing to go. All I'm saying is they do have an ability to be great wives. It does exist. We've seen it. Okay. If you go back to yesteryear, the further you go back, the more you can see it. Okay. Now, I'm not saying it was every woman, but heck, black folks was getting married in slavery. We was jumping a broom when it wasn't even quote unquote legal. It wasn't even a recognized marriage by law. Wasn't even recognized because we was doing it in slavery. So black women can be great women. They've shown they can be great women. So now, if you know they can be great women, you got to ask yourself, why would they choose to be anything but? Well, if they're anything but, it's a choice. Now, I know a lot of folks ain't comfortable with that, but if they're anything other than great, then it's a choice. Now, I found a nice little picture here. This looks to be some kind of studio set, right? You got two black women dressed up as the Dora Milaje, right? Now, who got something bad to say about the Dora Milaje? Who gonna complain about them? Okay, a fictional group of women that were warriors. They were to be respected. They had a job. It was to protect the throne of Wakanda. And anything that came up in the protection of that throne, they just gonna handle business. Okay. They have a worldwide jurisdiction. Okay. People may think that, hey, their jurisdiction is in Wakanda. They said it in the movie themselves. Their jurisdiction is wherever they happen to find themselves. It's that simple. Okay. So they got Earth is their jurisdiction. Okay. You ain't careful, space gonna be their jurisdiction. But who really complains about the Dora Milaje? Not really. Not people really don't complain about the Dora Milaje. And you got a couple women here who was dressed as the Dora Milaje. You got people following them out. I think it's a good thing because black women become very imaginative, and they do have a desire to truly lead the black community. Let's keep that real, y'all. Who do black women want in charge of the black community? Black women want themselves in charge of the black community. Now, black women will always, well, I ain't gonna say always, but for the most part, black women complain about what men are supposed to be doing, even though they want to be in charge of the community and they don't want to take any responsibility for stuff being undone. Now, my question is, how can you be the true leader of the community, but you don't want to take the responsibility of what the community is failing at? Now that's a tough pill for black women to swallow. See, even if I accept arguments that I know are not true, I would just simply say, well, why don't you fix it since you're the leader? Black women do a very convenient thing. When you start talking about stuff being wrong and stuff needing to happen, they start shifting blame to people that's quote unquote not in charge, right? They'll start saying stuff about how it's a black man's fault. You can't be in charge and then don't accept responsibility for what your charge has caused. That how do you be in charge and don't take no responsibility for the things you've done? And I think a lot of black folks gonna have to make a decision. All right. And you got to make a solid decision. Who are the leaders of the community? Because if you say black women are leaders of the community, there's certain things you have to deal with. Now, if you say black men are the leaders of the community, there's certain other things you have to deal with. But you don't get to have it both ways. Now, I'm going to say as black men, we've definitely allowed black women to have it both ways whenever they start talking mess. Now, me personally, I don't want to give it to you both ways. No. You got to pick a lane, okay? We're going to ride in the proverbial car. If I'm driving, I'm picking the lane. If you driving, you're going to have to pick a lane or you got to let me out, okay? I can't ride with somebody who won't pick a lane. Yeah, I mean, let's think about this, y'all. You can get in the proverbial vehicle. You can drive yourself as a black man. Okay, you can do the driving, but ain't you gonna pick a lane? Now, if you say, "Hey, she can drive," because there's men that'll say she can drive, and amongst black men, we've been taught that it's okay for a woman to be in charge. We've been taught that big time. But see, when you put her in the driver's seat, you don't want to tell her to pick a lane. Now, how manly is that? Okay, you don't want to drive. You don't want the argument about driving, so you let her drive, but then you won't even tell her to pick a lane. How are we supposed to get there safely? Because last time I checked, that's not the way to get anywhere safely. If you're going to drive, you got to pick a lane. Okay? So now, what is the culture of black women, y'all? Now, black women, I'm going to say from a cultural perspective, black women want the credit for anything good that happens in the black community. They want the credit for it. They're not being shy about it. They making it plain that they want the credit for everything good that happens in the black community. And I'm talking about the overall black community. They want credit for it. Now, if you want the credit for something, aren't you by default asking to be the leader? See, I'm gonna say the way black men treat black women is kind of crazy too, because she wants the credit for everything good, which means she must be the leader, because the leaders get credit. See, the thing is, if it goes bad, you still get the credit. A lot of people want to act like that's not a reality of life. If you are the leader, you get credit for the good stuff, but you also get credit for the bad stuff. Now, I ain't tripping on which one you want to do. Be where you want to be with it. But what you're not gonna do is tell me that you're not gonna get the credit regardless of what the outcome is. No, if you're the leader, you got to take credit. Okay. And that's why I've said, as men, I've just, I'm gonna do what needs to be done. I understand there's truly two major subsections of the black community. The one I belong to is where men are respectable, productive, functional, and believe in black men's leadership. We have wives and we have children that live in our homes, and that's our community. Okay? If you're not in that community, then you are automatically in an anti-family, dysfunctional, single mother black community, which is where most black women are. My thing is, let's be real about our culture, y'all. Black women are in a anti-family, dysfunctional, single mother community. I'm not saying this as a joke. I'm not saying this to, point a finger at them, to laugh at them. I'm saying this is your reality. You're either in one community or the other. Now, I already said the community I belong to, the women are married to the black men. Now, that alone puts most black women out. Okay, let's be real. That alone put most black women out. Why? Because most black women ain't married. So there's really nothing to figure out on that note. I know people want it to be something different, but most black women ain't married. So therefore, they can't belong to our community. They're not married. That's the only way for a black woman to get in. Okay? Or you got to live at your father's home. Most black children don't live with their dad. So how you going to get in? And how you going to be in as a black woman? Well, you got to be raised by your dad, because you got to get in as a girl, and you got to never leave the house. Because once you leave the house, you out. I'm not saying a woman has to be in a messed up position. No, I'm not saying that, y'all. I just accept once she leaves the house, she's out. She can get back in. You got to find the right brother to marry to get back in. But once you leave the house, you out. I need to know what's real. I can't live in the world where I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand the parameters. No, you either in or you out. It's that simple. A lot of people say, well, it's a lot of gray area. No, there's a lot of stuff that goes on where it's just simply black or white. You either in or you out. I ain't trying to figure out nothing about your personal situation. You either in or you out. Hey, sister, you married? Yeah, I'm married. Okay, now I'm gonna ask you what kind of man you're married to. But no, what I'm gonna do most of the time, hey, sister, you married? Well, no, because most of us aren't married. Okay, boom. I know what community you belong to. There's nothing for me to question. But I'm a good woman, though. I didn't ask you what you thought about yourself. Who cares what you think about yourself? That doesn't tell me what community you belong to. It does not tell me what community you belong to. How you feel about yourself answers nothing to me on what community you belong to. Okay? I ain't trying to hear it. It is what it is. All right? Now, I'm going to say a lot of black men, no, we have yet to come to a true understanding. I'm saying from a collective standpoint, because I don't think most black men have come to a standpoint that we're different than black women. Because what's the reality for most black men? The reality for most black men is we have to get up and go to work to provide for ourselves. And if we have a family, we got other people to provide for. That is the majority of black men. Now, can you find black men that are hoodlums? Sure. Can you find some knuckleheads? Absolutely. Can you find some guys serving time in prison? Yeah, you can. Just like any other group of people. But the vast majority of black men, what do? We get up, we go to work, we put a good day's work in. Whether you be a person who has the job or a person who owns the business. Either way, you're gonna get up, go to work, put a good day's work in so you can collect funds to take care of yourself, and if you have a family, members of your family. That's what you're gonna do. That's the average black man. It's very common. Okay? It's very common. Black men, once you're 18 years old and you graduated high school, you're gonna find them in college or some form of trade school for a while. Usually that's gonna be more of a younger black man. Now they also might be doing that while having a job. Okay. You also find black men with jobs. All right. You'll also find black men in the military. Okay, and that's having a job too. Or you're gonna find black men owning businesses. And they're gonna be handling their stuff. Now, is that the same thing for black women? I don't actually know. I don't think so. I'm gonna say that I don't even think so. But you know what we do have? We got stuff that you can look up. And I kind of like looking up stuff sometime live just so we can get the fresh results. Okay. So I'm gonna ask. Because see, black women can do all these things that I just said that men can do. Black women could do them. And they could use those things to make the black community better. They don't, but they could. Black women can use jobs to make the black community better. They could use businesses to make the black community better. They could use military experience to make the black community better. Okay? They could use college or some form of trade school to make the black community better. They just don't choose to. you know? Yeah. Now it's America. They don't have to make that choice. That's the thing. I don't think people get that when they talk about certain things. Okay, they don't have to make that choice. They can just kind of sit on the system if they want to. You go out, you have a baby, and then you kind of relax on the system a little bit. Okay, they have that right. Well, not right, but they have that choice because it's available to them. All right, but now they also have a choice of being a housewife. Not necessarily something that they cool with, but they do have a choice of it. You can find a good man that's willing to take care of you, and you can become a housewife. Are they going to choose to be that? Nah, not really. Okay? Not going to really do that. All right? Now, I'm going to say I just looked it up online. First thing that popped up, yeah, I just asked, are the majority of black women employed? That's what I asked. They said yes, a majority of black women are employed with an employment to population ratio historically hovering between 55 and 60%. Historically, black women have maintained some of the highest labor force participation rates amongst women. So technically, most black women are employed. Okay. I mean 55, 60%, not you know, you okay, it ain't like 75, 80 or 90, but it's still more than half. We gonna give them the credit they deserve. It's still more than half. Okay, not a whole lot over half, but it's still more than half. Okay, so let's give them credit what credit is due. Now you got about half of black women, a little more than half of black women work. Now looking at that, this suggests the black community should look much different. But they don't want to use those things to improve the black community. Okay. And see, my thing is, I like guys to really have it on their mind or take into account they could do better. They just don't choose to do better. Okay. That's where the issues really come. A lot of people always talk about, well, black women do this and they do that, and they say these things as if that automatically makes things better. No, no, no. Okay. This says 55 to 60% of them, they employed. Okay. So we talk about a little more than half. So should the black community as a whole look the way it does? No, it shouldn't. And they had the ability where it could look better. They just don't want it to look better. That's simple at the end of the day. Now, see, I'm okay with that. I've accepted that. Okay. I understand what truth is. Okay. It's not a my truth. It's not a her truth. It's not a his truth. It's the truth. I just accept what it is. So we got more than half of them working, you know, but we got what we got, which means this is what they want. All right. That means this is what they want. Now, black women could take these funds, get with a guy, make some good stuff happen with a guy, create a family. That's not what they want. They prefer chaos. All right. Now, let's look at what do black women desire. Okay. Black women become 18. Okay. Most of them, I would assume, would be in school. And you get your diploma, you graduate school. What do black women want at that point? Because you're gonna have a minority that goes to college. You know, that's just the way it is. People, it's always been like a minority of people who go to college. So you're gonna have a minority of black women who go to college. Now, what is the primary reason black women go to college? So they don't have to listen to a black man. All right, so we got a percentage of black women who are gonna go to college, so they don't ever believe they gotta listen to a black man. All right, what the rest of them doing, y'all? Let's think about this. What's the rest of them doing? The ones who go to college, we know they don't want to listen to no black man. Okay? They've made that very clear over the years that they don't want to listen to a black man. What are the rest of them doing? Are they going to school to make life better for the black community? Well, not that we can tell. You don't see any mass effort amongst any group of black women that are really trying to make the quote unquote black community better. Because when most people talk about the black community, they talk about an overall black community. Do you see women working to make the black community better? No, you don't. You will see women doing some work to make things better for black women. Some of them will even say black women and girls. But let's think about this, y'all. When have you seen black women do something to help the black community out? Because they talk about the black community as just black people. When they say that, you know, they're talking about it from a just black people standpoint. And if you pay attention, y'all, a lot of black women now speak, when they say black community, they only mean black women and their children. See, you got to pick up on stuff. You got to pay attention to the lingo, as they say. You got to look at the context of the word and how they're using it at the time. You know, and some of them will go in and out because they want to make certain points by using information that has nothing to do with them so they can gain an advantage. Black women use BLM all the time. Now, what is BLM? Not the Black Lives Matter movement, because that was something ran by men. But you did have a Black Lives Matter organization that, you know, 3 LGBT black women, you know, was put in charge of it. They had a lot of white people's money and they pretty much killed the reputation of that organization. And what was the goal? To kill it was to kill the reputation of the Black Lives Matter movement is led by black men. That's why they use that name. And what is the goal of the Black Lives Matter organization? What was its goal? It remains to be their goal. And it's the same goal that the average everyday black woman has. Their goal is to take the blood, lives, and memories of straight black men and use that to advance anyone other than a straight black man. That's always been their goal. That's what BLM is, y'all. Using the blood, lives, and memories of straight black men to advance somebody who is not a straight black man. See, when you pay attention, you see some interesting stuff. Okay? When you pay attention, you see some very interesting stuff. So black women don't have a culture that collectively involves black men. Now they will say stuff about black men if they can use it to their advantage, but they don't include black men. Now I'm gonna say white supremacists have always had this idea about you separate the children from the men. They've always done that with black men. Since slavery, they've always tried to keep a black man separate from his children so he can't raise them. That's just something that black women also like to do because they don't want black men to be in charge, and they don't ever want black men to even think they should be in charge. Now, keep in mind, the only time you really hear black women saying that black men are the leaders is when they're trying to get us to do something on their behalf. I challenge you to think about the last time you heard a black woman say that black men are the leaders without trying to get you or other men to do something on their behalf. And I mean it in a way where they have no literal commitment towards you in any shape, way, or form. Think about that. Don't tell me about somebody who actually is a girlfriend of a black man and they feel right about this particular man. Don't tell me about her. Now tell me about the black woman who say black men are the leaders, and you know they're not trying to take advantage of a man. Well, man, I mean, truth be told, you can actually tell me about some black woman who actually got a man that she loves and respects, because that's so few and far between. I don't think you're gonna come up with much of those either. I'm just keeping it real. I don't think you'll come up with much of that either. I don't see black women using you men are the leaders too much in any scenario where they're not trying to get something out of a man. See, if we the leaders at go time, that's one thing. But are we the leaders at downtime? And when I say go time, I mean they want something that happen for them now. So you on the go, you making it happen. But what about when it ain't go time? When you can chill, okay? When it's downtime, are you the leader then? Because don't tell me I'm the leader when it's go time, but then tell me I'm not the leader when it's downtime. That don't work for me. See, with me, I'm gonna actually make you pick a lane. It is what it is, y'all. I don't care how you feel about it. You're gonna have to pick a lane. Now, if you don't agree with me, that's cool. But don't say you agree with me right now, and then, in secret you disagree with me, trying to fool me. But no, I'm not playing these games with you. You're gonna have to pick a lane with me. All right, that's just what it is. All right. I see the culture of black women. Their culture is to be deceptive toward black men and align themselves with white people. That is the culture of black women. It's not a thing that one or two people are doing. It's not a culture of just one or two people are doing. No, it's just a regular thing. Black women's culture is to be deceptive toward black men and align themselves with white people. And I'm saying white people because I get some of y'all gonna say, well, they want to align themselves with them white men. No, they want to align themselves with white women too. They love that white woman because that white woman produces that white man that they lust after. That white woman produces that white man that they want to be led by. Okay? That white woman is very much connected to that white man. So she wants to deceive black men to align herself with white people. It is what it is. Now it's a tough situation because she don't know how to get rid of that white woman. And I will grant you she will love to get rid of that white woman if she could, but she knows she can't because she need that white woman to make white babies. And she understands that. Can't have no white man unless white women looking to have white babies. That's how you make that happen. Now, can black folks have a white baby? Yeah, but it's gonna be very rare. It's not gonna be that often. So she needs that white woman. In her mind, you can't convince her that that white woman can go. That's why black women have a huge problem with black men who find themselves engaging with white women. You messing up the gene pool. That's how she looking at it. You messing up the gene pool. I need her to have some white babies, not no black babies. I need her to have some white babies because I need white men to stay in charge. It is what it is. Now, do black women get certain things done? Yes. The black women who brag about how they quote unquote accomplish stuff. Let's think about this, y'all. Because, see, you got the ratchet black woman, and I understand that. And a lot of people, black women gonna blame stuff on the ratchet black woman. When you start talking about how black women are doing these terrible things, they're gonna say, oh, that's them ratchet black women. Okay. They want you to believe that black women who have children and they don't want their children raised by the black men, those are ratchet ghetto women that live in the projects. They'll say stuff like that. When the truth is, it's just something that go across the board for black women. The average black woman, no matter what she has done or hasn't done, she does not want a black man to raise her child. That's a fact. All right. If you as a black man insist on being the leader of your family, more than likely your child would be aborted. If you get a black woman pregnant and you insist on being the leader of your family, more than likely your child would be aborted. Let's be real about this, y'all. Why black women having all these abortions? Now, I'm not going to say you can't find a man that may want a woman to have an abortion because he didn't want to have a baby by her. Yeah, you can find that too. But a lot of black children are aborted because the man going to make an issue of being in charge of the family. And she can't have that, can she? Now, that don't mean she don't like you. She obviously giving you pussy, you got her pregnant. Okay? It's not saying you're not a beneficial man in a lot of different ways, but at the end of the day, you are really being insistent with this whole idea about you going to be in charge of the family. And maybe this is something you didn't really talk about before she got pregnant. But now that she's pregnant, in your mind, you got a baby coming. So now you talk a little bit different and you start talking how things going to have to be because, the baby coming. We might get a place together. We don't already have a place. How you going to make this decision here? Okay, you're going to make this decision there. You already taking on this leadership role in a way that she ain't even used to you speaking about because now it's including the kid. And what she do? She come back to you later crying, talking about I had an abortion. That's because you was finna take charge. That's what that is. See, if you talk to women when they're by themselves and you ask them about the child they had aborted, a lot of them will tell you a story of a man who actually started. Well, you gotta lead her in questioning to get her to that point. But if you ask her about the man whose child she aborted, and you start asking her, was he a guy that seemed like he was going to be there? Was he going to be in charge? If you start getting toward questions about him being a leader, you will find out that's the child she aborted. Now, if you're talking about some pookie dude that won't go to work, refuses to be employed, won't put his life together, she'll have that baby without a problem. See, a lot of time people will say something about, you know, these black women are having all these black children by these guys that ain't about nothing. Well, that's their desire at the end of the day. Because they don't want the black baby where they're not in charge. They need the black baby that they in charge of. So they can present that black baby to that white man so that white man can do what he wants with their black child. But if you call yourself about to be a leader, you about to start calling shots when it comes to your family. If they see you as anything of with an ideal of patriarchy in it, yeah, she got to abort your kid. She got to abort yours. You know? Now I know a lot of y'all want to believe black women's going out having abortions because, you know, there's an issue with the guy that she got pregnant by, and he's not a good guy. Now that's not what's going on. Go to an abortion clinic if you don't believe me. Go to a clinic, y'all. Amazing stuff you can see if you just go to where they doing it at, y'all. Go to an abortion clinic. See about some stuff. I've done it. I done went to abortion clinics, see what's popping up in there. Okay. I saw stuff I didn't think I would ever see. But I saw some stuff. Okay. Go to a family court. See what they talking about in there. Okay. See what they talking about. See it for yourself. So black women have a culture where they want to be in charge. They want to head any children that happens to be part of a black community. They want to be in charge. Okay. If they have a baby by a non-black man, they feel that baby is more valuable. And that non-black man is probably gonna go away. But she don't care. She had a baby by a non-black man. So she had a baby by a white guy, maybe a Hispanic guy, maybe Indian guy, you know, whatever the case is, she don't care. It wasn't by a black man. So in her mind, she already won. And if the guy disappears on him, which, you know, seems like that's going to happen most of the time they have a baby by a non-black man. It seems that way. I'm not going to say it's that way, but I'm going to say it seems that way. But they get to take that black baby amongst black folks, and black women got this odd thing about colorism and all kinds of stuff. So she thinks she won anyway because she gonna get this baby who's gonna have quote unquote good hair. Yeah, I mean, just think about the term "good hair," y'all. Where y'all think that term came from? Y'all think that came from men, or y'all think that came from women? Who cares about hair like that? Okay. They want that baby with the good hair, you know? And what does good hair mean to black women? It don't look like black women's hair. That's what it means. Now, we can say what we want all day long, but we can go out and look for proof in the pudding as well. What is good hair to a black woman? Hair that doesn't look like black women's hair. Now, y'all should ask yourself, how did that come about? And why do black women support the idea that good hair is the kind of hair that the average black person wouldn't have? Because we can keep it real, y'all. There's some black people who have all types of grades of hair. And somebody might try to bring one of them people up and say, no, it's black people. They got silky smooth hair. Yeah, black people got all kinds of hair. But we have hair that other people don't have. We have hair that's literally exclusive to us. That's God-given. God gave us an exclusive. And we shun the exclusive. Ain't that about nothing? Your creator thought enough about you to give you an exclusive type of hair that other folks can't grow, and you got the nerve to crap on that hair. And you think your hair not good till it looks like that white woman hair. How crazy is that? People crapping on the exclusives. Now, when you think about it, what are exclusives in the market? Those are things that drive up prices. You know, you get an exclusive, it drives up the price. See, I can sell a pair of shoes, right? You know? Now, Michael Jordan, the man to me, shout out to him for being a Roger Report living legend. I can get a pair of Michael Jordan shoes, and I can ask for money for his shoes. Okay, money might be okay, but it's different when I say I got a pair of Michael Jordan game worn shoes. That's different. That's gonna drive that price up a little bit more. They're gonna be just like a regular, some regular shoes at that point. Now maybe I can take a regular pair of Michael Jordan shoes, get on the internet with it. Maybe I can get $200-$300 for. Maybe I can. But if I say, oh no, these are game worn shoes here, that's a different price. Now if I say these are were worn in the finals, that's a whole different price. Now, if I could say these were the ones he won as he won a championship, price goes up again. You see what I'm saying? How exclusive something is drives up the price, except when it comes to black women in hair. They got exclusive hair, but the price don't go up for them. They drive it down. And you mean to tell me they ain't white supremacists? That what you want to tell me? They not white supremacists, even though they got exclusive hair. And to them, that exclusive hair is the worst hair you can have. Ain't that about nothing? The Chinese woman can't grow that hair. Okay, the Russian woman can't grow that hair. All right. The Scandinavian woman can't grow that hair. You know? I don't know what to tell you, man. But look at black women. They take the exclusive hair and say, no, that's trash. You know, that's trash. So what is the culture of black women? The culture of black women is being anti-black man. That is the culture. So why do they have exclusive hair that they do not value? Because you can't get that hair but from a black man. So in their minds, that's not valuable. We get that from niggas. Because they in their mind, they not gonna say black men. They gonna, it's niggas, okay? Nigga hair is the least valuable hair to a white supremacist. Think about that, y'all. Now tell me I'm wrong. That nigga hair is the least valuable hair to a white supremacist. Now they got that exclusive hair. But who do they want with that exclusive hair? Not their kids. I mean, they'll take it if they have to, but that ain't what they want. All right. Now, is progress the culture of black women? You know, because black women will go to college. They will. Not majority, but they will go to college. You know, they will write a paper. They will do an assignment, all kinds of stuff. So they will go to college. Now, as time went on, black folks have been able to improve their education. So black people have become educated in a way that the mass, that is different today. Because yes, back in the day, black folks wasn't supposed to get educated. Now they let women get more educated than the men because they needed the men to be dumb, so the men can't be in charge. That was the whole issue. Can't let these niggas understand anything, because if we let that happen, them niggas gonna want to be in charge. So black women have supported black men not being educated. Now we don't think about it in the terms of, because black women ain't never really protested a movement that wants to educate black men. They never really protested something like that. But when you think about the lack of support they have for something that would encourage black men, you can see if they support it or not. Anything that helps black men, black women have easily come against it. Let's think about it, y'all. When they see stuff that can help a black man, they like to mess it up some kind of way. They want to ruin it. You know? And they always gonna hit you with the no, some girls need to be involved too. Some girls need to be involved because they just want to ruin it. It's not that they really even want girls involved. They just want to make sure somehow the program is torn down. It's not even about trying to advance women. You never see black women fight to advance women for the advancement of women. You see them want to advance women for the destruction of black men. Now I'm going to ask y'all, where have you seen black women try to advance anything for black women that did not include a goal of destroying black men? Where have you seen black women get together to improve on something in society that will help black men, that will help them as women, but also there's no goal to destroy black men? See, you don't see them supporting stuff where there is no goal to destroy black men. Why was the Black Lives Matter organization so good amongst black women? Well, they knew what was up. That organization said, look, man, we want an organization that's gonna make stuff better for black women. Which black women? We gonna make for all black women. We don't care. As long as you black and you're a woman, we gonna make it better for you. You know, they say, what about our kids? Well, as long as they're minors, we got them. Okay, as long as they minors, we're gonna try to help them because they're minors. They're a reflection of you as a woman. So we're gonna help those minors. Okay, well, what about when we become adults? Well, if you're a woman, the program already here for you. You don't have to worry about it if you're a woman. Okay, but then who got to worry about it? Okay, so now the men got to take a thought about it. Well, which men is the program going to support? Don't worry about it, brothers. Don't worry about it. As long as you a minor, we got you. Well, what about when we not minors? Well, as long as you LGBT, we got you. Wait a minute, what? As long as you 18, you're male, and you are LGBT, we got you. Wait a minute, what about the straight man? I told you, as long as you male, okay, and as long as you LGBT, we got you. Whereas a black man is straight, they ain't leaving me no room. Well, we already said who we want to help. We can't help everybody. We willing to help women. Doesn't make a difference what your sexual preference is. We willing to help children, meaning somebody who's 17 and down. And we willing to help LGBT men. Well, to me, that the black man sitting there like that sound like you want to help every black person except a straight black man. What in America been going on that y'all don't know that that's always been the plan? What white supremacist group ain't said they willing to help everybody but a straight black man? What white supremacist group ain't said that? Okay, that's always been the case. There's always an exception to the rule as long as you a black man, but you're not straight. See, when you being straight, that changes things. Oh, this is a straight man. He ain't gonna never look to be in charge for real. We can use that. Come on this way instead. Come on this way. That happens regularly. So you tell me what's black women's culture? Because they don't want men in the homes to raise children. So culturally, how do you have to be as a black woman? You want kids, but you don't want men around that happen to be black to raise the children. Does that automatically make whole culture? I'm gonna say for the most part, yes. Because black women ain't going to adopt no child. We got to be realistic about this stuff, y'all. The average person ain't going to adopt a child. So you think a black woman gonna go adopt a child on her own? No, she's not gonna do that. She's not gonna do that. But she is willing to have sex with a bunch of men until she get pregnant. And if she can't get her a quote unquote bona fide multi-millionaire, what's she gonna do? She gonna have the baby. Then she gonna offer that baby to white supremacists so she can show white supremacy she's a quote unquote good girl. And she gonna use the man she got pregnant by to extract money from him on a regular basis. in forms of child support and other support for her. That's how the game go. Now, none of them have to make this choice, but they keep making it on their own. Y'all notice how black women keep making choices like that on their own? Or, okay, let's say they don't get pregnant. They ain't gonna have no kids. Because there's black women that say they don't want no kids. Okay. Now, why they don't want no kids? Number one, it keeps them from being attached to black men. So if a white man does come around, she remains an option. Now, see, a lot of men will say, well, no, that she ain't gonna do that because most white men, if you look at the numbers, they ain't gonna marry no black woman. That's you trying to look at things from a logical standpoint. If a black woman that made it to 30 years old, which makes her an actual loser if she's never got married, it makes her a loser. Why they lose so much? Because most of them want a white man. That's just being real. And these are things that a lot of fathers got to start taking something to start talking to their daughters about these things. Look, I see that you beyond 21. You are not married. I get it. You want some white man to marry. Now, she'll probably deny it. But that don't make no difference. From a father's perspective, you ain't supposed to care. You supposed to tell her what's real. Look, you're 21. You ain't married. Okay? You don't have no prospective husband in sight. You know, because if it was the high school sweetheart, once you became an adult, y'all would have just got married. So it ain't about being a high school sweetheart. It's about the fact that they're still looking for a white man to marry. My thing is be real with them. You probably not going to find one. I mean, if you even can, let's get some of these headaches removed so you will have clear space to find your quote unquote white man. You'll be all right. I mean, these are real things that people got to think about. Now, black women like to say, well, see, a man can't impress me because he want to do stuff that I can do for myself. Okay, cool. Maybe you can do a lot for yourself. Maybe you can. I ain't gonna argue that. I can take myself to a movie. I can take myself to a nice dinner. I can buy my own car. I can buy my own house. You know, I can take myself on a cruise. Okay, you can do all these different things for yourself. I ain't mad at you. But let's look at the women who can do for self, y'all. Let's look at the women who can do for self. What do the women who can do for self do for the most part when it comes to black men? They say, well, I can do for self, so therefore you're not important. Let's think about that, y'all. Let's take our egos out of it and just look at what they actually are doing. I can do for myself, so I don't need you. Now, what a lot of black men don't want to realize, when a woman says, I can do for myself, so therefore I don't need you, you don't look at what that means fundamentally. Fundamentally, that means you had a shot because I felt I couldn't acquire this particular thing without you. But if I can acquire this particular thing without you, you are no longer important. So you had a utility importance to them. But the more they can do for their self, that's less of a utility purpose that they need. Okay, so there's less need for you to be around. And a lot of men would chase their tails because they're accepting these thought processes. They may not have it clear out in their mind like I'm explaining, but they're accepting these thought processes and they doing stuff backwards. See, I don't mind loving a woman. But whatever she can do, yeah, I can do it already. You know, for the most part, whatever a woman's going to bring to the table, I can pretty much do it myself. We got to be real about that. Now, I can't carry a baby for 9 months, so there's something she can do that I can't do. Okay? Not saying they can't do anything that we can't do, because I can't carry no baby for 9 months. She got to do that. It is what it is. But what's the point of telling me what you can do that doesn't include me? See, think about Black women's culture, y'all. They always want to tell you what they can do without you, so therefore you don't need to be included. A person who keeps trying to tell you how you don't need to be included is a person that don't want you included. Truth be told, the fact that they're verbalizing so much is not only that they don't want you included, they're trying to let you know, get away from them. We not friends, we not cool, get away from me. And a lot of us as Black men, we look at the stuff Black women complain about and we bother by it because we're thinking it ain't supposed to be that way. We better than that. And you trying to prove yourself as a man to some dummy who already told you she don't want you around. You just don't want to accept that she told you she don't want you around. See, I don't talk to women who would go through the effort of trying to tell me how they don't need no man. I wouldn't talk to any of those women. If you gonna make an effort to tell me how you don't need a man, I'm not talking to you because you're dumb. Okay? You live in America. You can do everything I can do as a man. I can join the military, but so can she. I can go to college or trade school, so can she. I can go get a job, so can she. I can own a business, so can she. I already know all that. So for you to go through the trouble of trying to express it to me, that's a different thing. That's you letting me know that you want to be my enemy. That's all that is. You ain't got to tell me that unless you think I'm too stupid that I didn't realize that you can sign up for the same program I can sign up for. But I'm gonna tell the truth, y'all. Now there's certain things that she can sign up for that I can't sign up for. So you should ask yourself as a man, why is she making it such an issue to tell you stuff that is already known? Well, she's not telling you just for the sake of you hearing it. She's telling you because she's trying to let you know she in charge, not you. You don't get to be the leader. Now, you still got to keep everything and maintain everything in the proper way according to her standards. And if you don't do it the proper way, somehow it's your fault, even though she's your leader. I think that's something a lot of Black men have accepted way too much, y'all. I've never accepted a Black woman being the leader because I've never met a Black woman who wanted to be the leader at all times. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I have never met a Black woman who wants to be the leader at all times. I have met some who want to be the leader a little bit. I have met women who want to be the leader a lot, but they don't want to be the leader at all times. Because, see, all times mean when the toilet stopped working, you still got to be the leader. Okay? See, it's cool to be rah-rah and I don't need no man and all this type of stuff. Or if I get with a man, I'm going to lead the relationship because, you know, he needs to know his place. All that's fun and games till the toilet stop working. Okay? All right? It's cool till you got to dig that sewer out. Okay? It's great then. Okay? It's fantastic till that mortgage payment show up. Yeah. It's exciting and fun till that dinner bill come to the table. Yeah, I love it here. This how it should happen every night. Okay? But then when that bill show up and they say $400, not so cool then. Not quite the leader then. You know? Shout out to Waskin, the Man Cave. He said they don't need a man, but they have sex with them. Well, They funny about that too. If we want to keep it real, they funny about that too. Because they're willing to have sex with a lot with men that they don't feel they belong to. But if they get the idea that they belong to a man, and some of them are even repulsed by the ideal of belonging to a man, sex seem to go down. Because where does the sex struggle usually happen? See, a lot of people talk about stuff in social media, but we don't pay attention to the real. Where is the sex struggle usually happening? It's happening with men that are married. It's not such a struggle when you're single. Because when you're single, y'all, we got hoes out here. I'm just going to tell y'all what's real. We got hoes out here. We got plenty of hoes, and these hoes don't require nothing to have sex with them. They want you to believe something, you need something, because and a lot of them, they just go off of what men say. Because black men have been taught to try to act like, we act like women in certain ways. They want to one up another guy. So they'll say, the women want guys like me because I'm this and I'm that and I have this and I have that. That's them literally acting like a girl. That's why they do it. And people will say, well, no, Roger, you got to be realistic, man. They do like a man because he got a bunch of money. That's true. I ain't saying it ain't true. But they like a nigga with nothing, too. Okay? They like a nigga with nothing, too. So, yeah, you can be a multimillionaire. Will a woman like you because you're a multimillionaire? Absolutely. Will a woman like you because you don't have a job at all? Absolutely. But because men want to argue, and then you have men that have been raised by women who still act like women in certain ways. They're gonna sit there and argue with you about how you got to have all this stuff. Because what they're really doing is trying to one up another man. Their thing is, well, I got this BMW and he ain't got it, so let me use my BMW to one up that other man. It ain't even about the woman. It's about I want women to see me as better than that other guy. Some women do all the time. And the guys are still acting like a woman. It is what it is. Because you don't need squat. Okay? You don't need anything. But he want to feel like he better than that other man. Because a lot of black men were raised by black women. It just is what it is. But, when it comes to reality, though, the women out here being hoes. Because they don't want to be attached to some man that they quote unquote have to listen to. And black women still have an idea that if you become a man's wife, you're supposed to listen to that man. They understand that. I'm not saying they're trying to live it out, but they do have an understanding that when you say you have a husband, there's a different requirement or different viewpoint. People are going to look at you as when you say husband. See, boyfriend is something they'll do, but it ain't husband. Fiance is something they'll do, but it's not husband. When you say husband, that's a different type of viewpoint people gonna have. And black women understand that. And because they are very much aware of their image, at the end of the day, to not be able to get a man to submit in a fashion that is suitable for them, they're not looking to do that. They're not looking to get married. Because I need to marry a man that is gonna look right. They are more concerned about image than anything else. So they need a guy that's gonna gotta look right. See, black men, we concern ourselves with, is it gonna be right? But you're dealing with a woman who wants to make it look right. And y'all rights are very different. Y'all rights are very different. So you want something that's going to be right, but you look at that in the context that you are a man, you should be a leader, a protector, and a provider, which is legitimate, which is totally legitimate. But see, she wants something that's gonna quote unquote look right, which means she is the leader, you're the protector, and you're still the provider. But she's the leader. She needs it to look right. And if you can't protect and provide in a way that makes her look like she's running the show, then it's not valuable to her. It's that simple at the end of the day. It ain't valuable to her. You know? And a lot of black men, they believe black women because they haven't figured out black women say a bunch of stuff and they don't even think the stuff out. Now, I jokingly say, women only think about 4 minutes ahead. Okay? That's about far as it's going to go. Now, can you find a woman who could think about something in the future, 100 years down the road? Yeah, it's possible. You look for it long enough. It's possible. But the average woman, she ain't thinking about too much anything more. Now, I'm going to be realistic. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's my little running joke. She only going to think about 4 minutes ahead. There are some women who will think about something hours in advance. There are women who will get up in the morning and they already thinking about what's for dinner. They have probably even told you, make sure you take the ground beef out. We're going to use that for dinner. Why? Because dinner going to be meatloaf. You got ground beef in the fridge or the freezer, I should say. You got it in the freezer. She needs you to take it out. So when dinner time come up, it'll already be thawed. If you had a decent mama, a halfway decent mama, at some point in time as a child, you should have been told to take that meat out the freezer, whatever it was going to be. If y'all was having pork chops at night, you should have been told at some point, you take them pork chops out when you get home so they'll be ready for dinner time. Okay, when I get home to cook, they'll be ready. Now, I'm going to say it might be some guys that ain't never been told to because it might be so many trifling black women that this never actually came up. Okay? I can accept that. If your mama was that trifling that it never came up, I can accept it. So it's not what black women can't do. And a lot of black men need to get away from those thoughts because we talk about what black women can't do and what she don't understand. She understands what she's doing, y'all. The woman manipulates things throughout the world. That is just something a woman generally does. How do women accomplish things? They get men to do stuff for them. That is what they do for the most part. That's not saying a woman can't do something. That's not saying she can't figure something out. That's not saying she can't come up with her own hypothesis, but how do women maneuver in the world? The main thing that they maneuver with is just getting a guy to do something for them. It's not an unnatural thing. It's just regular to women. Okay? A little girl will walk up to a person and look at them with sad eyes so you can do something for them. Okay? She might look at you and point to the cookies because she can't get the cookies off the fridge. Okay? She's just a little girl. She can't get the cookies off the fridge. She can see them, but she can't get to them. So she look at you to do it for her. This is a natural thing that happens with children. And as children get older, when it comes to boys, a lot of boys will start doing stuff kind of on their own, while girls will keep trying to get people to do stuff for them. Unfortunately for some boys, they see the effectiveness of girls getting other people to do stuff for them, and then they start saying, hey, well, it's working for her. Let me try it too. And next thing you know, he a grown man, or at least an adult male. He's an adult man trying to get people to do stuff for him like a girl. And he's not understanding why society ain't accepting it the same way from him as they're doing his sister. See, in reality, women gonna always pretty much be able to get guys to do stuff for them. But as a man, we gonna be tired of you asking. We gonna get real tired of you asking. Nigga, you grown. Why are you asking me for this? So when men start talking about what women don't understand, you fooling yourself. They understand stuff in a way that you don't because they have to understand it in a way that they can quote unquote manipulate a guy to give them something that they want. Women ain't fought nan war. Women ain't had nan battle. Now, throughout history, has there been a few women that have been included in wars of battle? Sure. But where's a story that men had to conquer a group of women who came out to battle them? I don't remember no stories like that from history. I don't remember that at all. I'm just gonna keep it real. I just don't remember that stuff. If you heard about it, you let me know, because I don't remember it. Okay, I don't remember one time history told me that men acquired some area, but the only thing that stopped them from getting it faster was because of these groups of women that they had. They was the warriors of the land, and they fought the men off for 2-3 days. I mean, if you tell me they fought a man off for a half hour, that's one thing. Okay, I would even accept that. But I'm just throwing some extra on it now. They fought the man off for 2 to 3 days. It was brutal. It was hot. The sun was 93 degrees. But the women of Amazonia, they gave a valiant fight. The men eventually overcame, but they gave a valiant fight. Yeah, I don't remember that story. Okay, I don't remember that story. All right, it just is what it is. So they manipulate men to give them stuff, and we sitting around talking about how women don't understand. That's crazy, y'all. And I'm not saying this to insult anybody, and I know some people are doing it out of habit. I'm telling you this because we need to stop it. We don't sound intelligent talking about, a woman did X, Y, and Z, and we didn't know she was gonna do it. We couldn't. I mean, it is what it is, y'all. Okay, I can't look at that same kind of woman and then look at myself and be like, "Well, I don't. Well, she don't understand." No, she got to understand. She getting results, ain't she? She got to understand something. Okay, you got to understand something. Okay. Now, a lot of women have this victim culture. They say they've been abused, and sometimes they're talking about they're being physically abused. A man is beating them up. And what will some of us do as men? We will say, we gonna get us some help. The problem is she don't have no real man. She don't know what to do. Bro, she getting beat by a real man on a regular basis. What you think you gonna tell her is gonna change anything? Do we ever stop to think about that? What are you gonna tell her is gonna change anything? She like what she like. She's in a position where somebody may be beating on her, but she's getting different stuff while she's getting beat on. Now, who are you to tell her that she should value herself at a higher level? And if she gonna get beat on, the person who got the money should come back with more. I mean, who are we to say something like that to a person? I'm just saying. You know, if she's physically being abused and you think that's not a form of manipulation, you got to be crazy. Y'all think women don't want to be hit on so they can use that situation as a sob story for later on down the road or to get some kind of advancement at that particular time? If you don't think that, maybe you need to actually sit there and watch a woman lose her mind and go out of control. You know, if you live in America, you got some form of Department of Motor Vehicles. You can go there and see women doing all kinds of crazy stuff on a regular basis. You can see two women fighting in the line that ain't got nothing to do with each other. You know, but they telling you, I got a man that's beating me up. He going upside my head on a regular basis. I just don't know what to do. I couldn't leave, y'all. I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave. Did you have a key? Yeah, I had keys, but I couldn't leave. I was scared. You was scared, but you come home to the guy that beats your brains out. Yeah, see, I was scared to leave. I didn't know what he might do if I left. But so you come home to get beat on because you don't know what he gonna do if you left. I just want y'all to really think about how that sounds. He physically beats me. It hurts. It's nothing that I desired to happen. This is not something I encourage. But he physically beats on me. I do have keys though. Okay, I do have keys to this house, this mansion, this apartment, whatever. I have keys. But he beats on me and I don't encourage it. Okay, so what do you do when he beats on you? Well, I do what he told me to do. I just do it fast at that point. If he told me to go to bed, I go to bed. Because I don't need to get beat on anymore. Now, you tell me this woman don't understand. She got keys, but she's scared, right? She's scared to leave. That's what they say, right? They scared to leave. So rather than leave and go someplace where you're not gonna get beat on, you unlock a door to get in to where the guy's gonna beat on you. And you lock that door behind you so other people who don't want you to get beat on can't get in to help you. This is your situation. And when I ask you about your situation, you're going to say, I was afraid to leave. What kind of sense does this make, y'all? I am not saying people ain't going to tell a lie. I'm just going to say, are you going to ever think about the lie that they told? I'm scared to leave, but I come back home regularly. I lock myself inside this place where the guy I'm scared of lives, and I lock the door so the people who could help me can't get in. And she telling you I'm scared to leave. Come on, man. We gotta have to wake up at some point, y'all. Okay. Now, shout out to Gitmo. He's saying Gitmo 615 says she keep going back because she still does not want another woman to have him, beating or not. Now, I'm not gonna say that could definitely be included. That could definitely be included. There's a lot of reason that she might be going back. What I'm gonna say is we care what her reasoning is. I don't care why you was getting beat on. I just know you liked it. Okay. That's all I know. Now, maybe she is afraid that if she let him go, another woman gonna be able to have her quote unquote man, which will really be her ex. And maybe she'll get better results than she did. I do agree there's women out there who think that way. Some other woman gonna get them, and she gonna get better results than I did, and now I'm gonna be embarrassed about what she's getting in comparison to what I got. There's women who actually think that way. What I'm gonna say is, why do we care? If she keeps going back to a man that likes to go upside her head, and she lives in America, why can't she just have her head going upside? I understand people gonna say, Raj, you shouldn't say stuff like that. You should be trying to help her. What do you mean? How can I help a woman who she likes to get her head beat in? You talking about I should help? You want me to beat her head in too? Is that what you want? How else am I supposed to help her? Okay, she like getting her head beat in. She got a guy that'll beat her head in. How can I help her unless I'm gonna start beating her head in too? How can I help her? You can get her out of there so she can be safe. She got keys. What are you talking about? What are you talking? She got keys. She can leave whenever she wants to. She got keys. I'm telling y'all, stop accepting nonsense, man. Real talk, y'all. And just accept that this is their culture. Black women like to be in position where they can claim they're being abused so they can draw sympathy of other people. I say it again, y'all. Black women like to claim they're being abused so they can draw sympathy of other people. That's what reality is. Hey, you ain't got to like it, but that ain't gonna stop it from being real. Okay? Shout out to the sponsor of the stream. Y'all Morgan said, tell her to turn the other cheek. I'm pretty sure she got that down already, brother. I'm pretty sure she got that down already. But I don't know what I'm gonna do to help her. Okay, I can't. She like getting beat down. Now, don't get it twisted. I think I could beat her down a little bit, but I ain't finna take a risk on going to jail and then ended up in prison on something like that. I ain't taking that kind of risk. I don't like her enough to do that. It is what it is. If I hit a woman, we in a fight. It's as simple as that. Okay, you don't start none with me. I ain't gonna start none with you. But I ain't gonna hit a woman outside of a fight. You know. And I know some of y'all may hear that and say, "Oh, Roger, that's terrible. You saying you will hit a woman?" No, no, no. I'm willing to hit anybody that hits me. Okay. I am old enough where there's nobody who got permission to just hit me like that. My daddy don't whoop me. Okay. I've been had my last whooping. So you touch me, we in a fight. It is what it is. All right. And I'm not saying I'm the toughest guy in the world. I ain't even saying I'm gonna win. I just know we in one. I do know that. Okay. I know we in one. Now, black women, culture, raise babies without men. Okay. Why is this such a big deal to black women? Because think about it, y'all. They either have no child at all. Okay. And some of them are doing this at even younger ages now. And I know it's getting tougher because people won't give credit to black men, but there's a lot of black men who just won't give a baby to a black woman. That's just not what they own. We don't trust them enough to service a black baby wisely or well. We don't trust black women with that type of, you know, something that precious. We just kind of got away from trusting black women to be about that. You know, and as a woman, if you can't get the guy to impregnate you, how do you have a baby? That's gonna make things difficult for her. But let's talk about the ones who do have that baby. Are most black women having a baby by their husband with a plan to raise the baby properly? Is that most of them? Absolutely not. There's a culture they're trying to build with white supremacists, okay? And they need those children to have a white supremacist mindset from a cultural perspective. They need that. Which is why so many of them don't want to have a baby with you. Now, they don't mind you paying for the baby. You ain't even got to be around. If you just send her a check, she good with that. Sisters are good with that. Just send them a check. I ain't saying you got to be the guy she had the baby by. Just send them a check. She'll take it. You know, she'll definitely take it and spend it now. You know, if you want to act like you pawpaw, if she can get that happening without being involved with you, she'll definitely take it. It ain't that black men have been so against raising somebody else's child. Now, I know a lot of black men will say that online right now, but I look at what's really going on in the world. Black men, from a collective standpoint, don't have a issue raising another man's child. The issue is, do we get access to the woman while we're doing it? And I'm not saying it's wrong. I think it's right. A lot of black men just at the point where they don't want to issue any real benefits unless they can see themselves, benefit in a great way from the woman. I don't see that as a bad thing. You know, that's how you got to be sometimes. Shout out to Trail Billy. He said, too many are having babies as an accessory to their true love status. Now I'm gonna say this. I think a lot of them just have babies because they need something to sit around and complain about. It's harder for them to keep a man, so it's hard to complain about a man that you don't have. I'm not saying women ain't gonna do it because they do. We know black women complain about men from decades and decades ago, so they can complain about a man who's not around. But a lot of them want to have that baby because it's extra stuff to complain about. I'm raising this kid and he ain't helping me at all. Now, it may be a one night stand. He don't even know who you are, but that don't mean she won't say it. Okay, and that's something black men got to get past too. It don't have to be real for them to put it out there. They're going to say you're terrible fathers because it helps their image. Now, when the government looked into it, what did they find out? Black men are the best fathers America has to offer. But what have black women consistently said about black fathers? They're terrible. They're the absolute worst fathers America has to offer. They've literally held that, for decades at this point. And I'm pretty sure it's going to keep happening that way. So, black woman is born. She grows up. She's being taught to be anti-black man. She can't secure a husband when she's 18 to 22. You know, next thing you know, she done had her 30th birthday. She is officially a loser. You can try to help a woman out by saying, hey, look, you're 30 years old. You've never been married. You're a loser. But let's examine why you became a loser and let's see how to get you from being a loser. Most black women don't want to hear that. Because they stuck on the fact that you called them the loser that they happen to be. They stuck on that. How dare you call me the loser that I happen to be? Look, Shorty, you ain't got to be a loser the rest of your life. No. Who was you to call me a loser, you nigga? Because white supremacy, these thought ideas done told them they above a black man, call them the loser that they are. So they don't be trying to do that. And we got to be realistic about that too. You've been a loser. You know, if you're too old, you've been a loser for decades. You say you want somebody. I'm trying to help you. I'm gonna give you my terms, but you got an issue. And I'm gonna keep real, y'all. For me to date an older woman, which, if you can't admit that you're a loser, I don't know where we can go as far as a relationship is concerned. If you can't look at your life and say, man, I did make it to 30 and nobody married me, everybody that I was around that was worth something just didn't want to be me as a wife. See, women will try to get you off your game and tell you about these guys that she didn't see as worthy. But see, the thing is, what she's leaving out is she's telling you that every man that was worthy, even in her own eyesight, of being a husband, every single one of them rejected her. They had no interest at all. Now, how you make it to your 30s and no black man that was worthy of anything determined that you was worth, you wasn't worth no ring. They all came to the same conclusion. You ain't good enough. Now, when that happens to you and you can't accept that you're a loser, and I'm gonna just keep real, y'all. I need a woman to say she a loser so she can learn, so she can at least try to win. I don't believe somebody's comfortable losing is a good addition to a team that's trying to win. And I've said time and time again, life is very much like sports, y'all. You got NFL teams, you got NBA teams out here. You see players on the team that's trying to win, but they may be losing. You see there's a problem with the franchise. But if you see a great franchise and you see problematic players that just don't seem like they want to win, we gonna call it out. This guy don't want to win. He don't want to win. He lazy. He won't come to practice. He won't put up no shots. Okay, he won't make no throws. It make no difference whether he NFL or NBA, because that's where most black men pay attention to. Not that we not involved in other sports, but those are the two that black men pay a lot of attention to. He won't learn the playbook, won't run the routes. We blame him. We don't blame the organization. We know the organization is about winning. We don't blame the organization. We gonna blame him. Then you have the exact opposite where you had someone extremely great, Barry Sanders, one of the greatest ever, that's never going to get his rightful place in history because he was trying to win. And we could just look at what the franchise did around him. The franchise wasn't trying to win. How do you get somebody that good and you don't build around him? Because Barry was the truth. It's that simple at the end of the day. I'm not saying he my favorite, but that brother was the truth. Yeah, I'm from Chicago, y'all. Even though I can barely remember, we had Walter Payton, so that's my guy. Okay, we had Walter Payton. Even though I can barely remember it, that's my guy. But I understood what Barry Sanders was out there doing, and I understood he had an organization that wouldn't build around him because Barry was a winner. Detroit was the losers in that scenario. It was Detroit. It wasn't Barry. Barry was doing his thing. Now as a woman, she been out in the field for a while, man. She hit her 30th birthday. She been in the field for 12 years, 12 solid years, 12 years ago when she made 30. Ain't nobody married her. Well, everybody who worth something came to a conclusion that I need to stay away from her. That's the only thing that's the real thing that I know 100% for sure. It's not an interpretation. It is a reality. Every man who's worth something saw her and said, no thanks. Now, that's got to hurt from an ego standpoint, especially when you're talking about women. But they have a culture to be losers. They want to be in this imaginary world where men are going to be seeking marriage from them when they're 35, 40, 45 years old. Now, some people have caught a clue and they say these women are delusional. What are we really saying about women? They are playing games in their own imagination. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. This got something to do with the picture on the screen. The Dora Milaje are seen as cool, but they're fictional. These are the quote-unquote warrior queens or warrior princesses or just warrior women, however you want to say it. They're fictional. Okay? Are the Dora Milaje cool to the average person? I'm sure they are. They fictional, though. Men ain't going out there looking for no super warrior. That ain't what we doing. We're not looking to be led by these super warriors either. That's just not what we doing. Okay? Shout out to Mr. Me Too. All right? Now, the Dora Milaje, cool. I can accept them in the movie. Okay, I can accept them in the movie because they're fictional. I know these ain't real, but this is how black women want to be seen. They want to be seen as these people that can go to and fro, do what they want to do. They can whoop anybody that needs to be whooped on. And we just supposed to accept it. It's cool story, man. Cool story, okay? But when we get back to reality, ain't nobody looking for that. Okay? Ain't nobody looking for that. No. I need a man that if I call upon him, he can take care of my situation. Okay, that's cool. I understand, y'all. I do understand. I understand a woman being short this month on her car note, and she gonna call her man to get the rest. That's cool, cool, cool. What about the next month? Is she short on her rent the next month? Maybe she's short on her mortgage the next month, depending on if she's purchasing a home or if she's renting an apartment. Is she short on rent the next month? Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right. That's 2 months in a row she done been short. Next month come up. And she a little short on her on some other bill. She a little short on the phone bill. Is she a little short on the phone bill? It's the 3rd month in a row now. Is she short on the phone bill? Oh, she a little short on that bill too. Okay. Now, what am I saying, y'all? Okay, this is just who she is as a person. I'm not saying you can't accept her, but you have to understand once you accept a person like that, she just ain't gonna manage her money that well. Now, are you gonna get it there and say, look, since you don't manage your money well, I'm gonna start handling it? Are you gonna do that? If you say that, is she gonna let you do that? Now, I'm realistic, y'all. The average American is broke. Okay, the average American is broke. Who can actually make payments and keep stuff going so y'all don't lose something? Okay, is that generally the man or is that generally the woman? Because realistically speaking, that's generally gonna be the man. But are you willing to get in there and help her out and have her fall under your leadership? A lot of guys gonna say, "No, I'm not gonna even touch that," and I understand. There's plenty of reasons not to touch that. Cool. But now, if you're gonna be dealing with a woman like this, now you got to accept that your foundation is you don't touch her stuff. She get to do what she want to do. Now I don't know how that's gonna work out for you in 7 years. Maybe you want to get married, but her relationship with you is no, I do my own thing. So I don't know how a marriage can even work out between y'all two. I don't get it. Okay. Now people may say, "Well, Roger, that don't sound right. Women ain't gonna just let you come in and do X, Y, and Z." And you know what? You're right for the most part, but most of them ain't wives. Cause see, real talk, a lot of women who was raised to be a wife, she wouldn't have her own place. She'd still be living in with her parents. Okay. All this stuff that your woman got to think about and deal with, she wouldn't have had it because she'd have been living with her parents. So I hear you. But what am I gonna do with it though? See, that's my question. What am I gonna do with it? You a person, you need my help. You attractive to me, so I'm willing to talk to you. You start presenting stuff to me. Y'all know how women be doing, trying to get stuff without asking. Now I'm gonna tell y'all this. A lot of y'all can clear a lot of stuff out by simply requiring a woman to ask. What I do not do is listen to a woman tell some story or say some things and then you let her put issues on the table, then I address her issues automatically. No, I don't do that. See, women gonna tell you all day long. See, you'll let a man you know that you got problems and he won't even step up and do nothing about it. No, I'm not doing that. If you want my help, ask for it. It's that simple. You're not my wife, so you're not my responsibility. If I allow you to be in my life and you are not my wife and you need some help, then you ask for that help. Why would I want to merge myself with a woman who won't ask me for help? Let's think about this from a realistic standpoint, y'all, because this is Black women's culture. I don't need no man, so I ain't gonna ask no man for nothing. But in that same situation, I need a man to just take care of my stuff without being asked, because that's what a quote unquote real man is supposed to do. Now, I'm not concerned. I'm gonna keep it real with you, y'all. Now, I say, unfortunately, I've lost so many channels. It's hard for some people to know all the things that I have said over the years. But I said, we don't need to be living with women we're not married to. That's not a good formula for us. And you need to know how she maintains herself before y'all get too deep involved. And a lot of black men will up their relationship to save some money. That's not a good idea. It's just not. How about you live on your own and let me see what you're doing with it? Because if you need my help every single month to pay something, that means you need to make some changes. Either you need to go earn more money, or you need to create a situation where your outgo is less than what it is at that moment. You need either more income or you're going to have less outgo. Now, I don't know how we going to do it. Okay, I got to see what's going on for me to make a real plan for it. But my thing is we going to fix one of those things. What we not going to do is depend on me every month to take care of what your situation at your home. We're not going to do that. Because if we do that, that's already telling me what's going to happen if we ever were to live together. If we ever got married, moved in, what is my home going to look like? We're going to have more stuff going out than we have coming in, because that's what she used to. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing. This happens to most Americans, y'all. Most Americans put themselves in real bad financial shape right from the beginning. Okay? It's just a lot of black folks ain't got nothing to come in and come out. You ain't got no rich daddy to come behind you and fix it up. You ain't got no well-to-do daddy to come behind you and fix it up. You got to fix it yourself. So I'm not even tripping that she's had situations. The thing is, what we gonna do about it? Now, if I can't tell you what to do so we can make moves so we can get you out of your problem situation, then what am I supposed to do with you? And that's the culture of the average black woman. Even when it's bad, and we know that it's bad, we've expressed that it's bad, we understand that it's bad, culturally, you can't teach her to do anything different. Now, why would I have sympathy for a woman like that? Because again, y'all, we talking about culture. We talking about culture. This is the culture of black women. No, you just watch me keep messing it up. And if you feel some type of way about me messing up, you just pay it for me. I don't want to hear nothing about how to fix it. Number one, you not no authority to tell me anything. Plus, you too stupid to really tell me how to fix it anyway, because you a nigga. That's what we dealing with culturally. I know a lot of people don't see it that way, but if you look at the facts of the situation, that's what it adds up to. But I'm going to slow down because we got another gentleman joining us. We got, boy, the blows, the blows. We got a crackhead named Reset in the building, y'all. They be throwing, y'all be throwing some mean elbows at each other. We got a crackhead named Reset in the building.
Thank you, Roger. Well, I'm just trying to keep the spirit in the culture of black women. So I thought this name would be appropriate. And yeah, so I mean that's why he's not here today. He getting behind the back of his truck right now. So
hey man, who am I to complain? Who am I to complain? It's all good with me.
yeah, well, I mean look, that nigga right now in the back of his truck getting high with Shark Sims. So just letting y'all know. So I come to represent and be supportive of my brother. But I'm going to have to I want to agree on some parts. I'm going to disagree on others. When it comes to the culture of black women and dating black women as black men, you definitely have to go in as a subservient role, right? It's just how it is, right? Of years and decades of media family training. Because I mean, even Shaquille O'Neal will tell his daughters, you know, black men ain't you know what. So you're getting it from men, you're getting it from women, you're getting it from the educational system. So if you're a black man dating a black woman, you already know what the expectation is. She's above you, right? And you are a slave or a concubine at best, where uh you can whatever you do, nothing's going to be good enough. And on the same token, if you don't worship me and serve me as a mini god, then you trifling. And so that is the culture, and that's where the quote unquote idol worship comes in, because black women do require black men to worship them like idols, like a mini god, right? And even the Christian women, which is insane. Christian women also require that level of idol worship. Black Christian women. So, I mean, unfortunately, that's the culture that we have. But I can't blame it all on black women. I have to blame black men too, right? Because black men perpetuate it. I gotta blame the Shaqs. I gotta blame the Michael Jordans. I gotta blame the LeBron James. The female first men. True, like inspired truth teller. All these female inspired men that promoted this. Hello?
Well, I'm gonna say this. Number one, it ain't about where the blame is, it's just about what the culture is. Number two, I never blame people for something they didn't do. I only blame people for what they did do, and people make their own decisions. So if you're a part of a culture, you do that because that's what your choice is. Yes, people can try to get you to do something, but you don't have to listen to them. Now children, I'm gonna give children.
We did see Shaq do it though, right?
My thing is, it don't make a difference. Shaq can only control Shaq. Once you 18, I don't blame nobody for what you're doing. Once you're 18, I will blame your parents when you're 17 and down. When you 18, that's you.
But if you proliferate and promote it, like Truth Teller out here on the corners every weekend, talk about the black woman's God. That ain't right. Right? You gotta blame that nigga. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's it's a hodgepodge of things that created this black woman culture, as you put it.
Well, it's true that different things are going to have its level of influence. That's true. But at the end of the day, you participate in what you want to. That's what America is. And I think it's just hard for people to accept that, because once you truly accept everybody is at fault for what they did, accountability goes out across the board at that point. So I can't blame my father for what I am as a man. I can't blame my father. Now I can give my father credit and say I did this because of him, but at the end of the day, I made my own decision to follow what he showed me an example of, whether it was good or bad. Because your father can be a murderer.
But the Bible says, right, raise the child up, and and that's how they should go. So parents parents do have a percentage of responsibility of growing up a-holes.
Well, I agree they have a responsibility to raise you, but you're eventually going to become 18. If you live in America, it's not on your parents anymore. You start living the life that you want at that point.
But they will never depart. They will never depart. Right? This is the word of God. So
I hear what you're saying. Everybody don't even believe in God.
Yeah, but well, I mean, that's their problem, right? So, like, for example, again, and truth telling, I respectfully, this man has always said it's never going to work. I have never heard this nigga ever say in 6 years that I know him, "Oh, that might work." He's consistently said it has never gone through. And I promise you, his father or his mother constantly said that. I promise you.
I mean, it could. I can't say that ain't true.
I promise you. And the way that you always talk about your father this and father that, right? And I promise you, the reason why you have this channel to uplift your people is because your father raised you that way. I'm pretty sure of it. And I've never met your father.
That is a point, but my thing is, it still was my choice at the end of the day.
No. It's indoctrination. That's why they focus so much on early education, because it's indoctrination. If you steer a child in the right way before the age of 12, it is what it is.
No, brother. I'm not saying there's no merit to what you're saying, but there are people who raise their children to be Christian and became Muslims.
Yeah, but that's rare. That's rare. Like I don't believe in choice the way you like. For example, Jado Blade Master, that nigga was selling cat before his father had him out there at the age of 8 selling cat. What is he doing now? Selling cat.
Well, you shooting everybody today.
Well, they ain't here. They ain't here.
Hey, that's their fault. So I get you. It's their fault. They ain't here to defend themselves.
So the Blade Master is the Blade Master because at the age of 8, his daddy taught him the game. So it ain't free will. Ain't free will like that.
I mean, it's free will where you can make a difference. Now I'm gonna say this. Both sides of my family come from slavery. Mm-hmm. But I can't rock with being a slave. I'm too far from it. Now, I'm saying this because there are certain cultures that came from slavery that's, for whatever reason, still being pushed today, because Black women's culture is raise a child without a man. That was also slavery's culture.
Right. And look at it, right? And look at it this way, right? One of the defensive mechanisms, right? And they've done research on this. One of the defensive mechanisms that Black women had to make sure their sons never got sold is they always talked to the slave master and told them that their sons ain't, their sons are horrible, they lazy, whatever, they no good. And that was a defense mechanism to keep them from getting their kids sold. What do Black women do today? They still downplay their sons, right? And then the women downplay their men. That is a direct cultural thing that comes from 400 years ago that we still practice today.
Okay, so my thing is this, bro. At the end of the day, if something works for you and you perpetuate it, cool. If you decide it don't work, you stop it. Doesn't make a difference what your parents taught you.
No, but that's what culture is, right? Culture is social norms and practices and beliefs. That's what culture is, right?
True.
Social norms, practices, and beliefs. So we've been practicing downplaying Black men in America for a smooth 300 years, because that practice started out as a defense, and now it's just a cultural norm. And we talk about we have free will, but we don't have it. I think that is one of the most misunderstood things that we talk about. You don't have a choice at 18.
Well, I mean, free will is relative. I do understand that, but we have it. It's relative, but a lot of people just ain't gonna make certain decisions because those decisions would be tough. They would have hard consequences. But my thing is, it's all about what you want too. If you decided that you want stuff that's horrible, you're gonna do stuff to make horrible conditions exist. If you decide that you want better, you're gonna do things that make better conditions exist. At the end of the day, you're not gonna be able to get away from self. Doesn't make a difference what your grandma taught you. If you believe you a pig, you will live in slop. But if you make a decision that you're above a pig, you're gonna do everything you can to not live in slop.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, and shout out to Bronx because he live around pigs, right? He practiced that pig nature, right? So shout out. I mean, so. But the thing about it is, Roger, is this, man? Like, how can I say it? Okay, how were you raised has a direct correlation how you grow up. Okay, every person that's in here in this space, we are the minority of minorities, right? We're a small percentage of a small percentage, right? Because there's only like 6 or 8% black men in America, and there were like 1 or 2% of that 6%. And a lot of times we didn't make this choice. Like you made this choice, right? Because you superhuman. But a lot of us came to this decision through a traumatic experience, right? Through a traumatic experience, right? Unusual business got here from a traumatic experience, right? I'm not going to share what it was, but it was traumatic, right? Bronx got here from a traumatic experience. Reset. Well, that nigga hot. So I'll just leave that nigga alone. But like a lot of people here, traumatic, like divorces, lost all their money. A lot of people here, it was a traumatic experience that broke that chain of indoctrination. And so it wasn't really a choice. It was a traumatic experience that broke that chain.
Well, my thing is, I feel bad for any man who had to have a traumatic experience to. And if y'all didn't catch, he's talking about men that end up in these type of spaces. You know, yeah, a lot of them do come from traumatic experiences. And my thing is, we definitely need to do something so every brother ain't got to show up through a traumatic experience. We don't even need 90% of men showing up because of a traumatic experience. We want you to show up on your own because you just simply realize what's going on in the world. But at the end of the day, you can't fix anything if you won't even acknowledge a culture that a person has. And I think we as black men need to acknowledge what black women's culture is if we really don't like it. You got to acknowledge what it is, because if you acknowledge what it is, then maybe you can get it. You can do something that'll guide it in a different direction. You know, but I understand for the most part, black women hate me. You know, it may not be a hate that they would express. If you just say, hey, do you hate black men? No, they're going to say no all day long. But if I pay attention to what they do, I see the hatred. I see black men taken to court because they had a baby by a woman. Why is court involved if you had this nigga baby? Because he's a nigga. But go ahead.
I'm not going to say this, and then I'm going to let Bronx get in here because I know he's going to cry about what I said. But at least it's true. So I'm going to say this. Black women hating you and showing you that they hate you en masse, that's a traumatic experience, man. That's a traumatic. I mean, even here, as genius level as I am, I've only got here because of a traumatic experience, right? And I'll leave it there. And if we're honest with ourselves, if we're truly honest, right? And I'll share something, just like Bruce Wayne, right? When his girl cheated on him, right? And then kissed him in the mouth before brushing his teeth, bro. He realized he tasted sausage. Traumatic experience. That's how you got here. I'll pass the mic.
That's rough, brother. All right, bro, you can go ahead behind that.
Man, this dude right here, bro. Oh, man. What up, Roger? What is his name today? A crackhead named Reset. man. But you know what, man? I had to get up here because he definitely is cooking, man. Shout out to all the brothers out there who are here through traumatic experiences, and hopefully we get more brothers who are not here through traumatic experiences. But my personal take, man, black women's culture and what their goals are It's really rooted in white supremacy. I agree with you 1,000% on that premise. There is such a deep rooted hatred for black men that black women have. I mean, it's hard to work with them. It's hard to build with them. It's hard to raise families with them. I was one of the guys who kind of just looked at it as, early childhood experiences, childhood traumas, and maybe they just haven't quote unquote healed. Maybe they, had some issues in their family that they never really got therapy for. I don't even know if I look at it like that these days. I think at this point in my life, I truly just look at it as it's just that utter hatred for black men, utter disregard for black men's lives, disregard for their experiences. Black women will even go as far as to alienate black men from their own children. You're talking about good fathers, fathers who actually want to be there, fathers who want to support their children in every capacity that they have the ability to support them in. Black women will literally take a black man's child away from him if the state gives them power to do so. But yeah, this is absolute hatred, man. This is absolute disregard for black male lives in America, man. I'm gonna let my opening statement with that.
And that's the culture, man. And that's the culture here, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say real talk. You don't have to alienate a child from a bad father. So all the alienations literally happen to the good fathers. And I'm gonna say shout out to the Great Black Reset in the audience. He say, really? I'm a crackhead today? I guess so, brother. I guess so.
No, I mean, look. Him and Shark Sims are in the back of his truck getting high, y'all.
All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Truth Teller who done came up. Truth Teller, you got it, my brother. How you doing?
What's going on, man? You know what? I've done some self-reflection, and I'm turning over a new leaf. I agree with this nigga. I'm gonna go with it ain't them hoes' fault that they hoes. Men turned them into hoes, man. It's their father's fault. He wasn't there for their mother. It's that they like putting penises in their mouth. It's their brother's fault for not going to take out anybody who makes them feel uncomfortable. It's his fault. It's their cousin's fault for not helping them steal stuff from other men. Because, why wouldn't you help? The goddess, Queen Mother, shut. So, yeah, it's men's fault. It's definitely. Yeah, I'm going along with it on this day. I think we should do better to make these women better. It's our fault. Amen. Praise be Allah. And whatever other religions out there that's going to co-sign this goddamn nonsense.
How much they paying you, Truth Teller? How much they paying you?
They obviously ain't paying me enough. They are clearly not getting enough.
I told y'all, man. This nigga was on 6 and Linux, passing out flyers. Black women's got. I told y'all.
And bean pies. I was trying to make the ladies more comfortable while they was at work. Get them some pillows so when they get on their knees, they're comfortable. Make sure they got a little something in their belly. They don't go hungry while they out there working. I'm here to help. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to push forward and promote. We got to do more of that, y'all. We have to.
Well,
how they gonna get better if we don't?
Looks like we got another Knicks fan coming up. Knicks 2026. You got the flow, brother. You can follow that up. You can go ahead, brother. Do what you want to do with it.
Hey, what's up, fellas? I just want to clear my name. I'm not in the back of Reset's truck smoking no crack because that nigga ain't got no air conditioning. It's too hot outside to be doing that shit. So you can catch me in the park by the basketball court. All right. And the Knicks won, so a nigga gotta celebrate. You know what I'm saying? But now hot sauce he really cooking though, because everything he definitely saying is definitely real, and I'm glad he touched on that trauma, that dramatic experience thing, because I think me and him was talking about that one time, and I said that's the only way Black people really do shine is through traumatic experiences. You know what I mean? That's the only time we really wake up is through a dramatic experience. And I don't we when we're comfortable, we do the worst things. I think Black men have just been going through traumatic experiences way longer than Black women. That's why they haven't woken up yet. You do have some Black women. If you got 100 Black women, you got 1.5 that's actually awake and understand what's going on in the world and how we've been manipulated and everything. And so what Roger said about free will, I think that's the greatest trick you ever been sold, Roger, is to think you do have free will. Propaganda, manipulation, science, psychology, all that stuff supersedes your free will. It's things you do that you think you're doing that they told you to do. And you don't even know they told you to do it because you ain't hear them tell you to do it. And I think that's one of the biggest things that our Black community is going through right now.
Mm-hmm.
We have women that don't want kids and don't even know why they don't want kids. You know, they have all kinds of excuses why. We have Black men who we think we love Black men, but we literally hate ourselves. You can tell by
Mm-hmm.
the things that we promote, the things that we promote to each other, the way that we present ourselves, the way we let people present us. So I think the whole community as itself really needs some more traumatic shit to happen to us for us to all wake up. And just because one half woke up and the other half is not, that ain't gonna help. We all need to wake up on the same thing. And this is what's going on. Like that culture shit is very, very real. It's very real. You see how hot sauce out here shooting up everybody. He don't like Black men.
I would like to respond to that if I could. So telling the truth, and shooting people up, I don't understand that. But like for example, right, this whole uh support Black businesses and the Asian boycott thing that's on TikTok, right? I thought it was real, right? So when that was real, I was proud to be Black, right? But it took a traumatic experience of Asians talking trash online, talking about you can't survive without us, for us to unify. It wasn't. It took that, and it took an enemy for me to be proud to be Black. And then when Bronk and Reset said, "Oh, that's not really real," then I was, "Oh, niggas ain't shit again." So you know what I mean? Like the whole traumatic shit, that thing is real.
Yeah. That's the only time we want to boycott is when something traumatic happens.
Yeah, that's the only time we can galvanize is when something bad happens. That's the only time we can galvanize.
It's like it's like Voltron. Them niggas be separated into a goddamn big old beast coming. They got to form up all the lions and form
Yeah.
up to make the big Voltron and shit. That's
And if
Black
you
people.
and if you chart all the successes that Black people had as a race, there was always an enemy that they had to fight in order to get those successes.
Yeah, Roger always talk about the Black dude who helped make the light bulb. The enemy was darkness. That nigga was scared of the dark, so he did what he had to do. We need some shit on our back for us to succeed,
Well, I mean, it
man.
happened during slavery, though. You
You
know what I mean?
niggas is
It happened
terrible.
during slavery, right? Like, look at the music, right? How the best quality of music is slave gospels,
Yeah,
right? Then the next best quality of music is the rap era is rap during the crack era.
yeah.
Now there's drill rap during the Black president.
Y'all is
Hmm.
terrible. Y'all is terrible. But Jado done came through. I guess Jado said, I'm going to come in here for I get shot at. Jado, you got the mic, my brother.
He's getting close to he was on the bed at 8 years old.
Well, that's right, because you did. Yeah, you shot at him already. Yeah, you're right.
Jada was pimping since 8 years old.
I know I got shot at, man. I started listening late, fellas. What's up? Hey, man. Hey, fellas, I asked this question a few times on the panels, man, about culture, man. And like I said, I never got a nice, good, solid answer, man. And hey, my conclusion that I've come to, and again, I'm always open to being wrong, but Black culture is trauma, man. It is trauma. That's the only thing that's really linking us together, bro, to be honest with you. Because we came from, we're the indigenous, the natives, we came from, some say Africa, and we're all over the place, to be quite honest, man. And it's another conclusion I came, and I know we're making an attempt to create our own culture as Black men. This small percentage of us that are doing that, but can a group of people have their women practicing one culture and their men practicing another culture? And can this group still exist? It can't exist, fellas.
Man, no, it usually dies. Well, it doesn't usually die.
It will.
Yeah. Well, what will happen is women will get replaced. Is what happens. So it'll become a new culture.
You broke up too, fella.
But
I'll say the men will just replace them. They'll just get new hoes and they'll make a new culture. That's all.
And like I said, I know we're attempting to create a new culture, man. But man, if you really want to be honest, man, Black women and Black men, we practice the same culture as a whole, man.
Yeah,
it's no difference. It just comes from a deeper voice and a set of balls or whatever. That's the only thing. But anyway, yeah, man. I heard the last little bit of the conversation, man. I thought it was very interesting, man. Thanks for having me, Roger.
Well, I'm gonna say you should listen to the first part. It's way better. I was up here by myself for a while. It was way better. Yeah. But I'm gonna say I don't believe we practice the same culture from an overall standpoint. But we'll see, because we're gonna do something tomorrow on what Black men's culture is. So we'll see where it goes.
No, but I think he's right, because at the end of the day, if we look at the root, okay, Black women culture, Black men culture. Why is this? Why are we saying this? What is the root of this? Well, Black women don't like Black men, and then Black men are fed up with Black women. The root is the same. We don't like each other, right? So now we have this divide, right? So I think he's right, man. At the end of the day, it's just through trauma and pain, and the only way that it's acceptable for Black people as a nation to come together to unify is when there's a bigger threat that hates on Black people as a whole. And if there's no enemy, then we create enemies amongst ourselves. We love as a culture. We're an aggressive, hated. We're a culture that is aggressive and love to hate. We have to have something to hate. If there's nothing to hate, then we'll hate ourselves.
And I agree with that. But I think that that op or that enemy or whatever, it has to be sustained. Because I think soon as it lets off, then what happens?
Well, so are you saying that's the only thing keeping us together? Really, is the fact that we have
by a thin thread, bro. Yes,
bro. To keep Black culture together, if you're the leader of the Black culture and keep Black culture together, you have to constantly pay some other race of people to constantly attack Black people. That is the only way you keep Black people together. That's the only way.
That's what
I'm gonna say something that I would never say before y'all. But did y'all smoke bad weed before y'all jumped on this panel?
Oh
No,
man.
Oh, crack,
strictly.
bro. Crack.
I think y'all did, or either that, or that you don't like black people. It's
Oh,
one or
here
the
we
other.
go. Whenever you say the truth, man, if people you gotta
Well,
point to somebody and say,
Black
"Oh,
here,
people
look
let
at
me
the
don't like no black
coon.
people.
let
Look
me
at
kind
the
of explain.
So
Let me kind
Jado,
of
I'm gonna throw you.
explain. So
Go ahead and let me
hold
go
on,
We
ahead.
I'll
don't like
explain.
we don't like
Go
real
ahead.
truth, man. We don't like
No,
real
it's
truth.
not that I don't like the
That's
truth.
the
You're
same old
ignoring
trick.
the.
Women do
But you're
that
ignoring.
same trick, bro.
But hold on, I
Your mama
just
black.
said is one of because what y'all just described. Black people have a problem because they respond to obstacles in a specific way that benefits them. And for some strange reason, only black people do that in y'all mind. When that's how all culture works.
But we're not talking about all cultures. We're
No,
talking
no,
about
we're
ours.
saying that black
Trauma.
people.
You just said trauma. You said
No,
trauma, correct?
you're missing the point. You're missing the point. We're saying that why can't we get that same response without someone attacking us? That's our point.
Thank you.
Well, whoever
Truth teller, are
which
you
culture?
swimming? Truth teller, are you
You
swimming
know
right
what?
Nah,
now?
I'm gonna throw a
I got the
curveball.
wind.
I'm gonna
I
throw a
got the wind
curveball out
blowing.
there. I'm gonna throw a curveball out there. I don't think that it's them attacking us that keeps us together. I just think that most black people, once they find a level of comfortability in the white supremacist system, they don't want to fight for anything anymore.
Like for example, you ask what other called white people. White people enjoy subjugating other races. They
Yeah,
enjoy that shit. They do not need an enemy, right? That is
but
a pastime.
But they
Which
do.
what I'm
we're
saying is
That's
this
why
though.
they
What I'm saying is
subjugate.
this.
They do.
What I'm introducing into the conversation is this idea. Okay, I believe that once white people find a comfortable, or once black people even find a comfortable living for themselves within the system of white supremacy, they stop fighting against it.
Brock,
Okay.
what the fuck,
Now,
Brock?
now
What the hell did we
I
just,
gotta jump
Brock?
in. I gotta jump in.
We literally just said that,
Well,
Brock. We
but hold
literally
on
just
now.
But
said that.
I gotta
but you
jump
said
in
that.
because
But no, you're saying it's
hey,
what's
Brock,
keeping us together.
slow down. I gotta jump
Go
in.
ahead.
Great Black Reset. Oh no, he got knocked off.
Yeah.
Y'all talk so
Yeah,
long, the nigga got knocked off. I was trying to get the brother in.
that was God. God had to get him out of here
God
real
got
fast.
him.
yeah, you
God got
use the
him.
holy name, bro, and that's what happened, bro. You can't. I told you that nigga
You
used the holy name.
Well,
I'm Brock. I think you're right, but I think you guys. This is new. White people literally came out of hell to become who they are right now. You don't remember what was happening in their area of the world before they decided to go pick up other people to do the work for them? Do you remember what happened to them after Rome collapsed? Do you remember? So there's always been an enemy to fight against. That's people get better at what they do. So I don't know why all of a sudden it's different for black people.
No,
That's how. That's literally. That's hold on. That's literally human existence. So why do black people got to be different in human existence than everybody else?
Because
well, okay.
we the gods. We
First of all,
supposed
hold on,
to
We the
be.
no.
gods. I'm gonna agree with you on that one. Go ahead.
That first of all, you telling you're wrong. That because there's terms like Hellenization that belongs to the Greeks. There's other terms like manifesto. There's other terms of God, what is that? Demigod, right? I'm a demigod to rule over. I'm destined to rule over. These are traditional European classical thought that is uniquely European. So you're categorically wrong when it comes to that. The European does not need an enemy to subjugate people.
no,
You do realize I know. Wait. I just want to respond. You do realize I know what those terms mean, and I have a quick question for you, scholar. Who did they develop them on?
Huh?
When they created those ideologies, who were they using to create?
Well, for Hellenization, right? Hellenization, Alexander the Great.
Who?
India, right? India, China, right?
No. That Hellenization happened before they went to India. Who were they using them on? before they even left their own region, who they use them on?
Bro, you asked me a question, so do you want to answer it?
But you're dodging it. You're dodging it. Where did it originate from, and who did they first use it on?
The Persians.
No, themselves. Other Greeks.
The Persians, nigga. The Persians.
Oh, the Persians. Okay, there you go. Let it go.
He got the AL mobile going today.
Yeah, I can't hear him clearly, but anyway. But I mean, at the end of the day, man, look, it's. I mean, all we're saying is that why can't we unify and galvanize without an imminent threat? That's all we're saying.
Right now, I'm gonna say, which I believe is Truth Teller's point. The reason those people have developed those words is because they saw black people above them, and they were trying to create words or a thought process so they can be on top instead of the people that was ruling them. I believe that's where Truth Teller was going.
That's healthy. And that is healthy. That is healthy.
That is where I was going. Yep.
Now I'm gonna say, I think y'all wrong, because I don't see black people coming together. I think we were in a situation due to slavery where people kind of already knew what it was. Jim Crow was a very one-sided thing. So it was either you was on white people's side or you was on black people's side. And if you were not white and you were trying to be on black people's side, you're trying to be on white people's side, you had a difficulty there because you still was a nigga to everybody. Now, I'm not saying people wasn't traitors then. It's just that you still had that color, and there was only so much you can get, only so much of a reward you can get for selling out to people. Now, since the Civil Rights Act has been signed back in '64, I haven't seen any coming together of anything. What I've seen is further and further separation. I didn't see one thing that brought us, quote unquote, back together in any kind of shape, way, or form.
Roger, you're proving that's the point. You're saying exactly what we're saying.
No. The thing is, we started in a place where you're looking at slavery as we had to be together. That was not our beginning place. That was a stage of life for a certain group of people. Now, it did happen to develop into our group of people, but slavery ain't why we moved the way we moved. We moved that way then because we had to. Now that we have this freedom that we have, this quote unquote freedom, now we're moving how we want to. So now I got to blame the slave master from 100 years ago on why I'm doing something today?
Yeah, because you're still moving the same
that all
way.
the time. We do that all the time.
Every day, Roger. We do
every day.
We move the same way.
What happened was the slave master changed into what we now know as the government, and all the rules built in that perspective because they were all built from the same document that said we weren't people. Just so y'all understand this. I don't know why we think no matter how much our country improves that we're going to change. That's never going to change. So we're in a circumstance, pretty much the same circumstance.
You're Borgen. I can't.
And you guys are.
You going in and out.
You talking some shit, bro. We can't hear you. It's going in and out, bro.
And we finally agreed.
It's me.
You're Borgen.
The first day.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
No, what I'm saying, all I'm saying is your whole point of trial, tribulations, and struggles, that's literally how people work. That's not unique to black folk. That's how that's how Rome was built. That's how Greece was built. That's how Europe, the EU was built and still functions to this day. They constantly are looking for a threat to say that they can do something. The United States is built that way. The states were not hunky-dory. They didn't see each other as friends. We had a civil war. A bunch of states didn't want to partner with other states. So I'm just lost on why this is. Y'all think this is a good point when the history of your existence of your people don't exhibit this.
Because you're not critically thinking, and you're not even critically thinking. You are critically thinking. You're not critically listening. We literally said.
What did I miss?
We literally said that we operate the best when we do have that threat. We didn't say
Right,
it's
but you guys
anything
said
with
why.
operating.
Right, but your point is that it would be better if we didn't. We just operated like that without a threat, correct?
Yeah, because everyone else has evolved from operating like that
No,
without a
but
threat.
you missed my point. Your critical thinking skills is short.
You
What
said
I'm saying
Rome.
is
You said Rome was built like that.
nobody else functioned like that. So why do we have?
Trump's America functions like that. And see,
Trump's
Raj, I
America,
just want to say one thing, and I'm
Trump's
gonna
America was built
hold on, let me
250
finish.
years ago.
Let me
Thank you.
finish.
Trump's
Let me
America
finish.
was built 250 years ago.
Roger,
They
and
evolved
you
from
asked
that.
a question. You asked a question. Well, you made a statement that I would like to push back on. You say we
Sure,
don't
sure,
move
sure.
that way anymore. Oh, panel.
I didn't say that.
No, I said
didn't say that.
Roger. I said Roger.
Oh, okay.
Roger.
Sorry.
Roger, I'm gonna have to push back on that because right now, I don't know who. I mean, there's a brother on the panel that's acting like a house nigga right now. Right now, brother on the panel acting like a house nigga right now.
I don't. Hold on. I'm just going to clarify.
I did not say
I don't
names.
understand.
I did not say
I know. But all I'm saying is the foundation of your whole point is severely flawed. Is what I'm saying.
Hit dogs holler. Right
What do you mean
now.
it don't matter? What do you mean it don't matter?
A hit dog hollers. A hit dog hollers.
No, what I'm saying to you is
I said we operate better when we got
correct, but
stress on our back. I literally
right,
said
but
that.
that's human existence, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but now
that's how humans. Hold on. That's how humans function. So what you're saying is you want us to not function like humans. You want us to function a different way.
I'm saying now that we are comfortable with functioning even worse.
No, we're not. Our life here in this country, the fight never stops. You know that.
Truth teller.
You literally when you walk outside and you go shopping, you gotta make sure you got the receipt in your bag. You think white people gotta do that?
Hey, brother, your sound is.
I want to get something in.
You gotta come down and come back up.
Do you think white folk gotta make sure they got the receipt in their bag before they leave the store?
Wait.
You think they live like that?
Say it again.
Do you think white people got to make sure they got the receipt in their bag when they're walking out of a store?
No, because they got they're paying with a credit card. They could just look it up on.
So black people got credit cards too, sir. That's called debt. Why do black people make sure they got the receipt even though they pay by credit card?
Because we like
you want to play dumb now and not know?
Let's just move on. Let's just move on.
Oh, I thought the critical thinking. If we're comfortable now and we don't got to prove nothing, how do we need to make sure we got our receipt in the back before we leave?
So, truth teller, are you saying that black people modern day are acting as if we have the pressures that we had back in slavery or Jim Crow? We're acting like that right now. Are you saying that?
Every single day you walk outside your house and while you're in your house.
No. So, man, you guys never answer direct. Man, good grief.
I just answered it. I said you do every time you walk out of your house and while you're in your house. That means all the time.
He didn't say
the answer was yes. The answer was yes. Now let me get this in. First of all, shout out to Trust, who said hi, Roger. Hey, Trust, great new picture. You looking good. Okay. That's number one. Number two, Black Uru did say something. I want to make sure we get that said. And he did. Okay, I see it with the change that you made in the statement, Black Uru. He said, y'all are oversimplifying our history and situation. You cannot separate, that's what he meant to say, separate who and what we are from our past, especially when so much of today is based on it, which I believe is a very strong point. There are certain things that you have to do just because of what your past is. He also said, you cannot equate our movements with those of people who are not enduring what we are enduring, which I believe is another great point. And he also said, historic. Now this because Truth Teller wouldn't stop talking. Okay, Black Uru got all this stuff out because Truth Teller. Historically, Black people made many attempts to build and maintain stable, productive communities, and they were systematically thwarted and destroyed. Yes, y'all, many a black city has been bombed, put ablaze, or put underwater. Okay, so
Roger,
we've always attempted to create a proper situation for ourselves.
Roger,
Y'all
can I
making
say something?
arguments there. Well, no one of us. We're not saying we're separate from our history.
That's the
I
thing,
just don't.
They
Hey, my
get on
bad.
black. They get on black women for the same thing. Yo,
Yeah.
black people alone get in their emotions and hear whatever they want to hear.
That's
No
facts.
one made those. No one made any of them. Any of those assertions that Black Uru and Truth Tellers making right now.
Nope.
No, no,
But
no
you
one.
did.
No, we
The
didn't.
whole point
Hey,
was that.
We did not.
Hey, can I ask the other brothers the same question? Are we operating as if we're under slavery or Jim Crow right now, modern day?
Nah,
Like,
Jim Crow. I say Jim Crow. I say Jim Crow.
A nigga ain't
now,
made an
see,
invention
come
yet.
on, bro. You just said yes, and now you changed. You're
No,
modifying. Come on, man.
no, you said, hold on, you changed it. You said
I changed
slavery
it.
and
That was my.
and
That was the same question. I didn't say it
no,
verbatim.
you said.
In
So
order
You're
hold
not
on, sir.
listening now, brother. Come
Hold
on.
hold
I
on.
know you're not going to
You
be
said-
wrong, bro.
Hold.
But go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll tell you
Go
what
ahead.
you said. You said, are we operating in the same way we had in the past? You didn't reference slavery and Jim Crow.
Bro, I can't even hear you, man. But that's not what I said, though.
Sorry. Well, what'd you
I thought I
say?
was very. Bro, I think you're playing games with me. Hey, Roger, would you answer that question, bro? Let me ask you.
And do I believe we're moving the same way?
Yes.
As I mean, it depends on the interpretation of the question, because at the end I'm being honest with you. I'm being honest with you. Some people gonna say yes because if you have something in front of you that you kind of you need to move around. Some people gonna take it that way.
Roger,
now, I believe ultimately.
Roger.
No, hold on. Let me tell you, brother.
Are you being honest right now, man?
Yeah, I am. Yes, because I know how people live. I'm saying some people's gonna be about how they interpret the question. Me myself,
I'm gonna just play the role, man. I'm just gonna listen and nod my head.
Let me answer it, brother. Let me answer. I'm saying some people's gonna be on how they interpret the question.
How do you interpret the
I'm
question?
going to say that we're not doing the same thing because we don't have the same pressures that are on us.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I want to answer it. I want to answer it after you, Roger, if I could.
Yeah. The way I believe we're doing stuff is we're far worse off than what we used to be, because back in the day, people had more of an understanding what the unified goal is. Right now, I think we have one half of us that understand what we need to do, and we're going to, for the most part, we're going to try to work toward it. And I think the other half of us, meaning the women, understand what we're trying to do, and they want to do everything they can to make sure it never actually comes into fruition, which I don't believe is how we had it in the past.
Do you think that it's a 50-50 division? Come on.
No, I'm not saying an actual 50-50. I'm just saying general men are trying to work towards something, and generally the women are trying to make sure what the men are working toward will never actually happen.
I'm gonna say this: do Black people move the same way they move during slavery? I'm gonna say for the most part, yes. And here's my example. Before defense mechanism, you used to tell the slave master that your boy wasn't good, was lazy, he ain't SHIT. You did that so he wouldn't get sold away from you. It was a defense mechanism. Now we have done that so long that now it's a cultural norm that you don't grow your boys. So now boys today can't read at their grade level. Nobody invests in them. Mothers don't care about their future, right? Something that became a defense mechanism now becomes a cultural norm. And I think there's a lot of examples of how we moved back then that became cultural norms, so we still act the same way.
See, and that's why I said it depends on how you interpret the question. You see what you see why I said that?
But, yeah, Raj, I got why you said that. I'm talking about as a whole. In that aspect, brother, you're right. But I'm talking about as a whole. I'm talking about sticking together, looking out for one another, understand where the enemy is as a whole.
And I'm going to say I don't think we're moving quite the same because I don't think as a collective we agree to the same enemy.
Right.
That's what I believe.
Can I answer that question when y'all finish?
Go ahead, brother. I'm done.
I don't believe we're moving the same. I mean, yeah, I definitely don't believe we're moving the same. We were more united. We were more loving of each other. We were more inventive. We were actually inventing things that was changing the world.
On that aspect, I agree.
We was literally changing the world. You know what I mean?
That's why I say 60%.
Yeah, we were the moral compass of America.
That's facts. That's facts.
Now we're the total opposite. And like I said, I think it's because when we have something on our neck to fight against, we do great things. Right? And I think your enemy has realized these niggas get busy when we on their neck. You know what? Let's not get on their neck.
Exactly.
Let's leave them. Let's just leave them alone to their own devices and let them do their thing. And now look at you.
Yep.
So wait, when did they leave us alone to our own devices? When did that happen?
When they started letting, now I understand what you're talking about with the whole white supremacy thing, but it ain't like it was when Black Uber was coming up.
Right.
No, it's different.
No.
Sorry, go ahead, Roger.
It's different, but it's more covert. Where you might not even, where the smartest
very covert.
A person might
right. That's what I'm saying. It's different.
Very covert. So what I'm saying is, you might not even notice it if you're not smart enough. Therefore, you think you're moving by yourself. You think there's nothing against you.
That's my point.
Hold on.
Hey, fellas, I'm gonna show y'all something at the round table.
Hold on. Let me say something. I'm just gonna add on a little bit. 2 sentences. Black people galvanize and show love when it's an overt oppression. When it's covert, when it's hide in education, when it's hide in laws and statutes, then black people are not as staunch about loving one another and being together. It's only when it's overt.
Thank you for helping me. Thank you for putting that headphone for me.
I agree with that.
When it's covert, black people support it.
Hold fast. Because all you niggas came in late. We at the 3-hour mark. And I'm finna read what Black Crew said. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna shut this down in the hot stack. And Mr. Me Too just came up. So I'm gonna let him give an opening statement. Then we're gonna go in a closing statement. And we're gonna do some more of this tomorrow because my show about tomorrow is gonna somewhat link with this show. And we'll see where it go. But we thought we're gonna have to hold the thoughts to tomorrow. Now y'all can get together and read some stuff, formulate your plan, all that you want to do. But it's gonna be held to tomorrow. Now shout out to Black Crew Strikes. He said it's a foolish question because nothing in the world is as it was 60 plus years ago. What does not mean there are not serious that does not mean that there are not serious enemies and obstacles for black people, especially black men. And he also said you all are complaining about black people not being together when we are not even together as families. You cannot build any cohesions amongst people if there are no families, which I'm just simply gonna have to agree with. And I'm gonna say black women have a separate culture than black men, and it has manifested with the lack of family formation. Manifestation is there.
Like Uru, why you gotta dump on my question like that, man? Aren't we supposed to be asking these questions?
We are supposed to be actually. And
so why would you dump on my question, brother Uru?
See, now you going to Uru when he can't defend himself.
I'm just about presenting a question.
I want to say something because I don't think it's fair for Uru to say that, because yes, we agree that nobody is forming families. That's true. But if we want to say black women and black men culture are different, no, it's not, because black men are not forming families either. Right? Most black men are single without children. We're also not forming families. We gotta keep that 100.
No, I don't think that's intentional, but But
Yeah,
because
I'm
you
gonna
can
say,
go get an Asian, you could go get a white, you could get a wetback. I'm sorry, you could get a Latin.
Watch it. Only nigga, bro. Only nigga.
hold on. Let me do this, Mr. Me Too. Go ahead and make an opening statement, and then we're gonna go on the closing statements. And people gonna hold off on all this stuff till tomorrow. And we gonna get backstage. We're gonna talk about how the Knicks won. Mr. Me Too. Go
well,
ahead,
my
brother.
opening was salute, fellas, salute. But yeah, my opening statement is pretty much gonna be my closing statement, and it's gonna answer.
We'll let you make another. I'll give you a closing after these guys if you want one.
Well, I'm a kind of answer Jado question that he asked. He asked, "Are we still operating? Are black people today still operating?" As he gave a couple of options: slavery, Jim Crow. Are we still operating in that same mindset? And I'm gonna try to answer that question by pointing out that Drewski NASCAR skit. That was a powerful skit, and one thing that I like that most people didn't really touch on in that skit was that one interaction where he approached that black boy, that black man. I mean, and he kind of talked to him as if they was in Jim Crow era, and we all seen how that black man responded to that white character Drewski was playing. And you cannot tell me that's not a reflection or some kind of response to our thinking during Jim Crow or even slavery time. You can't see that and say that's not a direct result of or a direct reflection of that of those times. And I'm gonna end right there.
Me too. We're gonna need you to give us a description of that skit because I don't even remember that joint. I remember the joint, but I don't remember the specific point that you.
When he walked up, when he rolled up to that the one black man that was just walking by, and he was like he was pretty much saying, "Boy, you seem like you out of place," and the black man instantly cowered to that white man in those circumstances. His whole demeanor was he was. I just didn't like that. How
Mr. Me Too. It's a big difference. There's a big difference. If that was the case, that black man wouldn't even have been there. What are we talking about?
What do you mean?
Oh, okay. All right. Look, y'all. We wrapping this up. Okay, maybe I didn't make this clear, but we wrapping this up because I got stuff I got to do. Now, my apologies. I walked away from my phone because I told you I bought a new phone to get the Cash Apps on. So I walked away from the phone. I'm gonna announce these Cash App, then we're gonna go into closing statements. Well, I wanted to read this.
And go.
Yeah, Elder Blood said, Roger, it seems you overlooked or forgot to read my earlier Cash App super chat speaking to black women don't marry black husbands. Well, yeah, I definitely didn't. I didn't do that, Elder Blood. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. I'm gonna go back, look through it, see if I can find it while we start these closing statements. And I'm gonna say shout out to Quicksilver. Appreciate you, brother Quicksilver. He came through. Oh, you know what? Now I see what's going on. So hold on. My bad, y'all. First of all, shout out to Black Uru, y'all. Black Uru came through with a Cash App. I just went and picked the phone up about 40 minutes ago now. About 40 minutes ago. He came through with a Cash App. Dropped $50. Okay, he didn't say anything, so appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, but shout out to you for the 50. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. You know, see what happens when you make sure people get their words in. They drop 50 on you. That I can work with that. Shout out to Gold P. Gold P dropped $5.95. He just said money for the plate. Hey, appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. Glad to see you around, brother. Glad to see you around. And then the Elder Blood dropped something saying, hold on. Elder Blood, well, you know what? We're going to go in the close statement. I'm going to try to find Elder Blood's message, okay? Because he dropped the message in here. So this is what I'm going to do. Brother, you're going to be last, you know, because you got status, okay? But Great Black Reset, you didn't get an opening statement either because I looked for you, but you fell off. You fell off. That's what happened. You fell off when I was looking for you. So go ahead and say what you want to say real quick, brother.
I need you to use my proper name today. My
Oh, my
proper
bad.
name
My
is Hot.
bad. Oh, Lord have mercy. Excuse me. Hot Sauce Stepdaddy is in the
There
building.
it is.
So
There it is. There it is.
to make a statement earlier
There it
today.
is.
So
I came over here strictly for chaos and throwing chairs. I'm telling you right now. Hot sauce just mad because his mama loved me more than she loved him. That's what's going on with him up here today. I fully agree that ain't nothing wrong with black women not loving Bronx. True tell up here lying as usual. Jado up here asking questions, throwing grenades up here on stage, acting the fool. And Mr. Me Too just can't be trusted. That's what we got going on up here today. Roger just running the circus and animals are running the trainers. This is crazy. This is unacceptable. We need to end the show right here. Don't nobody else need to get no closing statements. This is over with.
You gonna empty the 30-round clip on us, huh? You gonna empty it.
Well, I mean, he came in with the lightsaber swinging. That's all I'm saying, man. He came in with the lightsaber swinging. There's obviously a little good back in there too. Obviously was a little good back, you know.
And that gibberish was not a clean example of this nigga put his lips around a glass pipe on that rock. I don't know what it is. This nigga hot.
Now I'm gonna say, shout out to Elder Blood, who did say black women don't marry black husbands. Black women marry black male girlfriends that call themselves husbands most dishonorably. Now, I'm gonna say we're gonna have to give, as harsh as that is, we're gonna have to give that some level of credit because honestly, I do think a lot of black men who have been able to stay married to black women, I think a lot of them just let the women kind of run over them a bit. I do think there's a percentage. I'm not going to say what the percentage is. I'm going to do some thinking to see what the percentage really is. But I do think, because I do believe there's some good black women out there that just married to black men and everything's good and it is the way it's supposed to. But I do believe there is a certain percentage that they stand married because they're not going to step up and do their part as a leader. And I think that's one of the main reasons that black women are getting divorced at this point. Because they say irreconcilable differences. I believe the truth is you couldn't son that man. And because she can't son you, she's going to divorce you. I think that's a very real thing. If some women just can't son their husband, and I'm saying that like that on purpose, they can't son their husband, so therefore they want a divorce. I think that's a very real thing, you know. And that's why they have stuff like irreconcilable differences, so you don't have to explain what the real problem is. But I'm going to say shout out to everybody who sent in a Cash App. I appreciate y'all big time. The Super Chat going to be out to at least the beginning of September, y'all. Just so y'all know, it's going to be out to at least the beginning of September. You know, me and the platform, we doing our thing again where they beat up on me or whatever, and I got to let them get away with it because it's their platform. So it is what it is. You know, I ain't going to worry about it. I think since since Hot Sauce Stepdaddy came in with a lightsaber and said we gonna end it, I guess we gonna end it because I wanted to end it anyway. If y'all are watching and you're new here, join us tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Chicago time, not where you happen to live, 9 a.m. Chicago time. We will somewhat pick up on this conversation tomorrow. And I'm going to invite y'all to come in early, throw whatever chairs you want to throw right from Jump Street. And because tomorrow's show was supposed to be something to go along with today's show anyway. So I think a lot of great stuff going to be said. Y'all got some great thoughts, but I'm going to make y'all hold them till tomorrow. We're going to talk about something else in the back. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Long live the habitual line steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.